You're tuned in to Vibration Frequency, vibrationfrequency.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Vibration Frequency. Feel the vibe. Here we go again, and we're back again, back in LA Talk Live like we... All right, let me not start with that. Okay, let's start that all over, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the world's only show that gets to the very root of the medical cannabis movement. This is the Marijualogist. I am your humble host and fake rapper, Richard Carr, tonight, joined as always by my esteemed colleague, the one and only Equal the Wolf. You are on camera, indeed. I know you're doing your Facebook thing. That's all good, though.
Gotta tune in with my
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Marijualogist, the world's only show that gets to the medical, social, political, economic, and, yes, ecological impact of cannabis on California and the globe. We've been doing this for 10 years straight and running. So I'm going to pull the music down and get right to the show. For some reason, my mic is super hot. You know, when you let these rookies on the mic. Jeez, I hate when that happens. Anyway, Equal the Wolf, welcome back to another live episode of the Marijualogist. We got a hella live show tonight, I got to say.
Most definitely, man. It's always turned up.
Show,
and it's a beautiful thing.
Turn it up,
somebody's coming in who's live and turned up, and we love that. You know what I'm saying? Because this is still reality. Like
these kids today.
You're right. This is reality TV now. You know what I'm saying? Radio,
that,
handcrafted for y'all listening and viewing pleasures.
That's right.
So we had Bonnie who just stepped in that y'all heard the voice off camera. Bonnie, the star of the off-screen world. You dig? But we want to welcome everybody and thank everybody for tuning in every Friday at 4:20 right here at the Vibration Frequency Studios, Vibration Frequency Network at vibrationfrequency.com. This is the Marijualogist.
All of that.
And you see in the background there, we got my man all the way from Philadelphia.
Donnie G
Skyping
joins
in.
us.
You dig? So
he's pulling out
I
his
want everybody to just stay
fishing
tuned
rod.
because we got a full show
So I just
tonight.
wanted to
We
show you
have
guys that.
Sacred Wings in the building. We also have Weed Mayhem in the building, and that's an event that we went to the other night that was incredible.
And let's give them a mutual round of applause for
man.
now, because we're going to be bringing them on shortly. Indeed.
Give them a round of applause, you know?
All right, so tonight's show is going to be very special. I think so, because we've got some
of our shows
powerful...
are special.
Well, not tonight. I'm not, so much more tonight, rather, I should say. Because tonight, this show has some really powerful women that we met just recently, just last Saturday, in fact, at one of the best events you and I have been to in quite some time. And let's acknowledge that, right?
Most definitely.
We go to a lot of events and we meet and see a lot of people, but I felt that I was truly at the cannabis circus.
It was nice on a classy level, man.
It was the hottest event that we've been to since the Emerald Exchange.
Yeah.
And that's been some years ago. And, you know, there was problems with that in terms of people not wanting that to happen in Malibu. But it went down anyway. And I got to tell you, Weed Mayhem, you ripped it.
No doubt.
Yeah, you ripped it. Hold on.
No doubt. Shout out to Weed Mayhem. So y'all make sure y'all follow Weed Mayhem.
Wait for it. Yep. We got your logos. We're going to be popping up a little later in the show.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get in.
Indeed. Through that process, we met a healer. She touched me. She touched you, just in a spiritual way. I mean, she just could almost wave her hand over
exactly like a wand,
pain points
a magical
in
human
your body,
wand,
right? And she really could feel your essence. And I started admitting crimes that I committed that are way beyond the statute of limitations. So I'm not worried about what I said. However, she knows
like
all
she
my...
got that Wonder Woman lasso effect. You know what I'm saying?
She knows all my dirty
She's
little
touching you
secrets.
like, I did it. I broke into the bank and I stole everything out the safe.
All the money. I spent it all as well.
I spent it all.
I hurt myself today.
I did it. I'm a dirty worm.
To see if I could
dirty
feel.
worm. I did it.
Yeah. not that, though. But Janelle Renee also joins us. Wait for it. Holistic health consultant. She is, in fact. And I got to say, this is what makes this show special to me. And it seems like woman power is evident in the studio tonight because we've got some other lovely young ladies who join us as well.
No doubt.
All right. So
It's actually just the whole cannabis movement. Woman power is very
it's taken
very
over,
their
right?
presence
Right.
is there very strong, very
Right.
strong, multicultural, different age brackets. They out there strong, pushing their products and their strength. And I applaud the ladies for that. You know,
Indeed. Wait
Most
for it. Wait
definitely.
for it.
I applaud them for that. Because women, we already know women make the world go round. Shit, without the women, man, who go? Oh, it's just us guys are there.
Yeah. Who wants that?
No,
Yeah,
we just put on pants and a shirt.
that'd be boring.
You know what I'm saying? The way you see me is the way you see me every day. I don't have no makeup on. It's just me. You know what I'm saying?
So, all that said, our topic for the show tonight, and if you are on our mailing list, I hope you did open the mail and at least dig into your spam box and pull it out and don't block us again.
For sure.
It's a discussion about pain, and we've got a gentleman on the line who inspired tonight's topic for me, co-inspired, I would say, because two of my good friends were in deep, deep, deep pain recently, related to back injuries in the rough and tumble experience of life, and they both were in pain simultaneously. It seems
me out the stretch right now.
3,000 miles away, and I was like, "Wow, I don't know pain, chronic pain like that. Worst I get is a toothache. I don't get headaches even.
No, I don't get headaches.
You know,
Just a form of athlete.
so I don't
man.
understand the concept of pain, and because of that, I don't use cannabis for that reason. I just like cannabis. You know, I like smoking weed. But that said, both my best friends in the world, 3,000 miles apart, we're both experiencing this simultaneously, and I hope I'm not violating your physician-client privilege by talking about that. But our topic tonight is pain. CBD, THC remedies. We're going to prove it tonight, I would hope to say on this show, because I know we've got some major experts in the building. And so, without further ado, I will swing the mic to our resident cannabis index expert, Mr. E for the Wolf.
Yes, this is a radio report live here from the California, Los Angeles studios.
And also joining
Fake
us
voice.
live via Skype, the
Don
man you know as Donnie G from Philly, our resident CD expert. We're hearing you loud and clear.
Yes, sir.
What's up? What's up?
Let me get you on Skype there, young fella. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you? And
can't hear
thanks
him out
again
here.
for having me on. Big shout out!
Thank
Big
you.
shout out to my man E. Quarter Wolf. Oh,
Hey, what up, though, Don?
what's up? What's up, bro? How you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling beautiful today. I wanted to, of course, I had to get my gym session in and get my workout in, and I felt real good in there, pushing up that weight today. And I've been having some severe back pains in the last month, to be honest. But I still
Okay.
fought through it. You know, I don't really believe in taking the pain meds, but I did do some CBD. I did have some salve rubbed on me as well, and I started moving my neck like, wow, you know, it was unbelievable.
Right, and I believe that you experienced immediate relief.
Immediate. I also did it at the Mayhem, the Weed Mayhem event the other
Right.
night. The lady was sitting there, and she was doing massages, so I went over there and asked, you know, how much do you charge? She said, free. I said, oh, shit. So I gave her a nice tip, you know. And she asked me, you want some oil? Some CBD oil? I'm like, by all means. And mind you, I was walking around there like, man, I need to sit down because my lower back is getting ready to just fall. But she put that on me, my top, because I have some pinched nerves at the top. And she put it on, rubbed it on, and she gave me a great massage. And, man, I was able to just walk around the rest of the party just pain-free, feel good. I was interacting. And that's what I can say about the CBD salves and just the whole CBD period. And that's
Right.
not my first experience on it as well, but that's one of my recent experiences with it. And, you know, it's living proof. I'm living proof.
You're digging it.
I'm digging it.
You're digging it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, guys, and to all your listeners out there, this is the real deal. This is another entourage part of the whole cannabis experience.
No doubt.
And as you all know, I'm going to give you a little snippet right here that I put together for the show. As you all well know, marijuana has been used to treat pain for since back but 2900 BC. More recently, scientists have discovered that certain components of marijuana, including CBD, are responsible for its pain relieving effects. Studies have shown that CBD may help reduce chronic pain by impacting endocannabinoid receptor activity, reducing inflammation, and interacting with neurotransmitters. One study in rats found that CBD injections reduced pain responses to surgical incisions, while another rat study found that oral CBD treatment significantly reduced sciatic nerve pain and inflammation. Several human studies have found that a combination of CBD and THC is effective in treating pain related to multiple sclerosis and arthritis.
Now, Don, our resident CBD expert, one of the reasons we started having you as a regular join us here because not only are you managing one of a growing chain of CBD storefronts that are situated in major malls on the
Correct.
East Coast.
Correct.
And I found that to be fascinating because when you and I reconnected, one of the first things I wanted to know is how are they treating cannabis in Pennsylvania? I heard y'all just went legal in some form or fashion. And then you began to tell me about the work you're doing with this organization. We won't mention their name in all deference to their whatever. But and then I got to listen to you interact with some of the customers there. And of course, we both lament the fact that people are very uninformed there. Cannabis in any form that is legal, either medical or through CBD process, that's all new there. So we brought you on, and we're developing a regular segment for you, and I appreciate you for that segment right there. And we're going to rely on you more and more because not only are you a chronic pain sufferer, and I thank you for your honesty with that, but you're also the president of the club for CBD proponents. Almost, it's a joke, of course. But you're a big proponent for that. And one of the things you've had, some difficulty convincing me of is the value of smoking CBD flower. And you and Ecor both tell me you need to try it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm real strung out in part in the reference on this CBD thing because we've also discussed on this show that as CBD begins to, pick up the torch and lead people to the promised land of remedies for cannabis, there are going to be more people who want to avail themselves of the properties of CBDs than there are going to be people who want to just get high. And that's been the biggest fear and the biggest impediment to cannabis becoming legal and descheduled, in fact, is that there's this fear that it's a gateway drug. And I won't get into the whole gateway concept and how that relates to people getting strung out on other drugs. They're addicts anyway, perhaps.
And it's good you say that.
But I just want to wrap this up by saying this CBD thing is going to be important because for so long they've prohibited access to just the plant itself. And as more and more science gets applied to that plant, we're going to see a tremendous boom in remedies for so many different reasons. And I think this, and I'll say this last part, this whole bomb thing, first of all, CBD, for real, I want to get high. Secondly, you going to rub it on me? Come on. But again,
Skin's not going to get high.
Right. So we're going to explore that tonight.
Well, Rick, it really speaks to, I'm going to not really paraphrase you, I'm going to quote you because you were the one who came up with this moniker, if it will, regarding CBD, which is more people want to get healthy than want to get high.
I was high when I said that. Just want you to know.
Well, it was very, very, very poignant.
Another fine credit.
So, Don, let me ask you a question, Don. Over in Philadelphia right now, since you are dealing with the CBD over there, demographically, age-wise, the different races of people, who's coming in the most, or what race is coming in the most? Age brackets coming for CBD right now. Who's that in tune with the CBD on that side of town right now?
Well. To be honest with you, it from a demographic standpoint, it goes back to the fact that more upwardly mobile, more white people, more people with more fiduciary wherewithal have the internet. Therefore, they have information at their fingertips more readily than others. That being said, that is reflected in the amount of individuals that come into my shop who already have information at hand and have done some research prior to their inquiry.
Okay. Go ahead.
Well, I wanted to get in here and ask more about this chronic pain thing, because for me, again, I admit that I'm not as prone to that, and I ask Ecor. Hold on. I ask Ecor very often, and I've asked you very recently. Does it really work? And I think both you can speak to it most truthfully.
Right. I've done it in all forms.
Yeah. Tell me about
it.
I've done it in all forms.
And Ecor is
who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Don.
Ecor is probably going to back me up on this, Rick. If you keep rubbing it in that you don't have any pain, I think he and I together can facilitate that for you. Mm-hmm. Should I be able to make the 3,000-mile trip? That's my little joke. See,
get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper. Okay.
Right.
So exactly. Get to the CBD. Okay.
All right. We got it already.
So there you go. No, actually, if Ecor's pain is anything like mine, I can empathize. And I know how debilitating it can be, especially someone who works out avidly like Ecor does. It can be something that is, a deterrent to you actually working out and doing your daily regimen. Because if you're in pain, a lot of people aren't able to surpass that and continue to work through that pain.
See, I fight pain since I've been a child. It's like I'm real good with pain. And I became stubborn against it, to be honest, because I always wanted to see how much can I take without having to take any meds.
Right,
Even when I shattered my bone in my left arm, and they had to replace it with titanium, to give it the look as a bone. And I didn't take one pain med after I got out the
Terminator.
hospital. Not one. Because it felt like when you first start working out, this muscle ache that you get when you first work out. And you just be like, whatever that first muscle ache pain feels like when you first start working out, they had that same feel in my arm. So I said I could take that.
Right.
And, kept it going. But I wish they would have had CBD oil back then or drops, whatever, but I definitely would have been on it then. But I've taken CBD in all forms. I even smoked it as well, and it has its effects. Even though people like to joke, I'll joke and say it ain't nothing but diet weed. But it's not diet weed. You know what I mean?
Near beer weed.
It really works.
Yeah.
It's almost like a down. Said, but it just like the THC is
never
not
the hike.
So the THC is not kicking in, but the CBD is right there, and you feel it.
Well,
but anyway.
you know what, Ecor, I gotta say to that, the fact that you're espousing its efficacy is just a testament to one more person's experience. I mean, you got to understand that this is not a panacea. It's not a placebo. It's not something that is come along that is fake. It's not snake oil. It really works. And I'm not surprised that it works. I'm surprised that most of the people who aren't woke believe the hyperbole and the propaganda that is given by the government or whoever, the pharmaceutical industrial complex, that says that they're the first place you should run when you have an ailment, as opposed to something homeopathic and natural that has no side effects and isn't addictive.
Well,
that just goes to show the bizarro world in which we live.
No doubt.
Because the normalcy bias is that we go to a doctor, he writes a script we can't read. We go to CVS, and then we get a prescription to put chemicals through our body that were never meant to be there.
That's what I was getting ready to say. You know, a lot of people run right to the white coats, which are the doctors, and they get a prescription and go right to the pharmacy and get it filled and go take it without even researching what this med is. And the whole time it's a pharmaceutical, which they call pharmaceutical, but I like to call it pharmaceutical because over time it's harming your inside, poisoning you, and before you know it, you're gonna be on dialysis, and you got to go through all these treatments now, and cancer kicks in or whatever, and now they got you, and then before you know it, wipe out, no more insurance, you know.
Exactly.
Well, that's a good point to take a break.
Yeah, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we got some special guests. We got Sacred Wings in the building coming up next, y'all, and she's gonna speak about the healing aspect of CBD, all the way down to some grown and mature shit. You dig?
And guess what else?
Y'all should stay tuned to the Vibration Frequency Network right here, vibrationfrequency.com on The Marijualogist. I'm your host, E. the Wolf, and we'll be right back.
I think this would be a great time to take a little musical segment as well. We'll be back. Take it.
Smoked up on my shit. Then was I stoned and smoked it all without not knowing it. I hop up quick, I sit and think. 1 blunt, 2 blunts, or was it 3? Can't remember if I smoked it all with company. Gotta admit the memory ain't nothing what it used to be. Oh well, that's me, I need some weed. Can't hit the shop, it's too early. Oh, why did I smoke you up, smoke you up, smoke you up?
If an emergency happened or something like that, the only thing I'm packing is food in a sack. Cause it's mandatory that I gotta be stoned. Like Ice Cube said, once again it's on. It's a fucked up feeling when you're California fiending. If you smoke bud, you know exactly what I'm meaning. Open up your jar and you trip cause it's empty. But the night before you could've swore you had plenty. With no connects and don't know what to do. So you try to drink a 40 as a substitute. But it doesn't feel the same as that Mary Jane. Creeping up real slow, marinating my brain. And I've been at the bottom feeling just like a peasant. Saving all my roaches and scraping up my resin. I smoke so much weed that I sweat THC. A day without herb, I can never let it be.
Oh, why did I smoke you up, smoke you up, smoke you up, smoke you up? Oh, why did I smoke you up, smoke you up and not leave enough? Oh, I was alright as ketone. Damn, it must have slipped my head. Instead of packing like a pack rat, I was packing like a fat cat instead. Can't believe I did it once again. A fucked up habit that I got. I always do it to myself. I'm always smoking on my pot. I got no options, I could call a weedman from the streets, but it's a Monday and it's 6 a.m. before his peak. That's fucking weak. I need some weed, a long morning, THC free. I can't believe I got no marijuana for my brain. I always do this cause Anita Blunt's my fucking name. I need to go at 10 a.m. I pull up to the front, guess what? They're open. Oh, why did I smoke you up, smoke you up, smoke you up, smoke you up? Oh, why did I smoke you up, smoke you up and not leave a nut? Smoke you up, smoke you up, smoke you up, smoke you up. Smoke you up and not leave a nut.
Yes, gracias, pa. It's time to get grown. Why don't you go and light that shit up? Break it down, roll it up and spark that shit. 1 puff, 2 puff, 3 puff lit. Smoke that OG kush. Mix it with some heat and make that shit gush. Keep it flowing, blow your smoke into the air and let it sit in the atmosphere. Now let's turn it up a notch. Keep on smoking cause the party don't stop. Come and elevate your mind, come and get with this. It tastes so good with just one hit. Now the whole room smelling like skunk. This new breed we call it funk. Mastermind is hot in this weed, come and get with me. All day's happy hour when you're smoking trees. I bust that switch shut down. Then I go and take the dirty guts out. Then I stuff my blunt with some green, mix my mood rocks in. I got what you need to make your whole head spin. Now I'm floating in outer space. Come get a glimpse, get another taste. Got that green, that gas, that dope, that weed. Any kind of ganja, I got what you need.
Roll it up, light it up, pass the blunt, can't get enough. Roll it up, light it up, pass the blunt, can't get enough. Pass that digit to the left, that perk make you feel in yourself, make you boogie all damn night, cause that Mary Jane is right. Pass that dirty to the left, that perk make you feel in yourself, make you boogie all damn night, cause that Mary Jane is right.
We got that fire, fire, to take you higher, higher. The type of weed that don't expire. Cheech and Chong, no Richard Pryor. We got that fire, fire, to take you higher, higher. The type of weed that don't expire. Cheech and Chong, no Richard Pryor. That skunk, that fire, that green. Combine the music and the weed indeed. We got the choke, yes indeed. The beat to match the blunt, ooh wee. It's about time we get started. 420, don't be tardy to the party. Bring your ass, bring your cash, bring your bong loads. Take a toke to your choke, grab a stronghold. Let's get it crackin', crackin'. That berry Dutch we packin' with them fat nuggets. Come get a taste, you'll love it. It's about time we get started. 420, don't be tardy to the party. Bring your cash, bring your ass, bring your bong loads. Grab a hold to your choke, grab a stronghold.
Roll it up, light it up, pass the blunt, can't get enough. Roll it up, light it up, pass the blunt, can't get enough. Pass that digit to the left, that perk make you feel in yourself, make you boogie all damn night, cause that Mary Jane is right. Pass that dirty to the left, that perk make you feel in yourself, make you boogie all damn night, cause that Mary Jane is right.
It's time to get crunk. Why don't you go and light that shit up? Break it down, roll it up and spark that shit. 1 puff, 2 puff, 3 puff lit. Smoke that OG kush. Mix it with some heat and make that shit gush. Keep it flowing, blow your smoke into the air and let it sit in the atmosphere.
Roll it up,
It's time to get crunk.
light it up,
Break it down, roll it up and spark that shit. 1 puff, 2 puff, 3 puff lit. Smoke that OG kush.
light it up,
Keep keep it flowing. Throw yourself into your
Can't
game.
get enough. Pass that business, switch to the left. That perk make you feel in yourself. Pass that.
Still going to remove from society many of our more annoying citizens permanently. First group, drug addicts. Not all of them, don't get nervous. Not going to bother first offenders. People deserve a chance to clean up. Everyone will get 12 chances to clean up. 15, that's fine, and that's it. If you can't make it in 15 tries, off you go to Colorado. A perfect place for staying loaded. Each week, all of the illegal drugs confiscated in the United States that the police and DEA don't keep for their own personal use will be airdropped into Colorado. And everyone can stay wasted, wired, stoned, bombed, hammered, smashed, and shit-faced round the clock. This is the real Rocky Mountain High.
Marijuana is something they need to legalize for medical reasons, cause it's helping so many people's lives. It helps me free my mind inside these evil times, trying to adapt when you're trapped behind enemy line. Anyone that smokes will meet me up at Pomona Park, so we can gather up enough for a 10 million men slaughter march. We're gonna have a big ass smoke out on Capitol Hill, so they're legalizing 420 and passing our bill. They check my phone, they try to shut me down, they split my dome, cause over 50% of the population's getting stoned. It's really stupid to make something that's illegal when it's being used by over 75% of the people. Can't get a decent stable job without having to pay some more. Pray to God that my wisdom native didn't break a clog. And now I'm really fucking hating this law. It's not even a big deal. Why you even breaking my ball? You don't understand why. And you can see it in his eyes. I wouldn't have to worry if weed was legalized. I wouldn't have to worry if weed was legalized. I wouldn't have to worry if weed was legalized. I said we wouldn't have to worry if weed was legalized. We wouldn't have to worry if weed was legalized.
Marijuana affects the memory. We call this kid the after-school special smoker. He spends all of his allowance on reefer. Thanks, little buddy. Now, in the next room is father, and I'm 40, but I'm still cool smokers token up, trying to figure out a way to bond with his son. Isn't that ironic? Don't you think? Of course, across town, the kid's nana's smoking up, trying to ease her glaucoma.
And it's good for arthritis, too.
Seven-leaf farm. Mr. Reed.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to tonight's live episode of the world's only show that explores the global impact of cannabis. This is the one and only The Marijualogist. I am your humble host and moderator, Richard Carr, joined by my esteemed colleague, as always, Ecor the Woo. I hope you enjoyed that cannabis-infused musical segment that we always like to do each and every week. Hey, if you got some music that's cannabis-infused, send it over to
ROKKIR92 Again,
say it once again.
That's ROKKIR92
Yeah. All right. And so if you got some cannabis-infused music, send that over. Because I know if you're a regular tuner, you probably heard that music over and over and over again. But hey, I'm not mad about that because let's keep it real. We have Anita Blunt who always does one of my favorites, Smoke You Up, and that's from 2011. Then we had Roll It Up. Then we had Legalized by Big Blizz, Sammy B. And a little plug for Seven Leaf Farms, who I understand did a great event during BET weekend.
No doubt.
Let's give them a shout as well.
Man, we was busy the last month.
Too much for me.
Over.
Yeah, you've been busy.
I've been producing events. The BET event was real nice. Shout out to the Cookie Jar Art Gallery located in West Hollywood. It was incredible. And I had cannabis infused chocolate fountain there. You know, do strawberries and just Twinkies and your donuts, and I had like medibles everywhere. I had some of the dopest artists performing. Had a violinist.
Wow.
Man, I had the gentleman, the creator of the strain called the Banana OG, who won 35 cups, was right there. Had his table set up at my event. It was nice. This is during BET weekend. And then, like, the week and a half later, it was my birthday, was my life day celebration. I had a 2-day celebration.
Happy birthday!
Thank you. And I had the Wolf's Den, which is my every first Friday. I have the showcase, which is the Wolf's Den, and it just happened to fall on July 5th, and my birthday is July 6th. So we partied Friday night with all the artists performing. We had edible food here, chicken wings. We had.
How come I didn't get the invite? Like
I didn't know you at the time.
We just met, Heather. Slow down.
Oh man, we had a ball.
Slow down, Heather. We had
a ball. We're a week late and $1 short. You know.
Yeah, well, not $1 short, but a
It's
week
your
late.
birthday month. We could still
This month,
celebrate.
exactly. There it is. And we had so much fun, man. And then the next day, I rented out a cottage on Venice Beach, and right on the Strip, and it was just incredible. You know, everybody came down, and we just partied, and again, medibles. I had the chocolate fountain there again. You know.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was a beautiful.
You Nouveau Rich really know how to live.
Oh man.
Let's call you Canna Rich.
Man.
You guys are Canna Rich. You Canna Rich sure know how to live, because I'll tell you, we're going to talk about an event. And we've got to start with the mistress of ceremony that night, because the dress she was wearing was absolutely ready for
No
the red
doubt.
carpet.
We went to this event the other night. It was called Weed Mayhem. I got one of my buddies who's deep in the game as well. He's a vegan chef, you know, very well known. So he hit me up like, "Hey man, this is a place where you want to be today." And it was like 5:30 when he hit me up.
Wow.
And I was sitting right there on the couch out there in the studio, and I read it. I said, "Whoa, we gotta be at this." I'm like, the Greek Theater. I'm like, there's something. Nothing like this has ever been at the Greek Theater. First of all, when I said it to myself, and I said, we got to be at something like this. I was like, Rich, get ready, let's go. And then we end up, going to. I had to go all the way back home to get my Green Cross hat
and get and also you
I wasn't about to walk up in there with my. I had
you had to roll out with the Batmobile too. You pulled out the Batmobile for that night, right?
Oh yeah, most
absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah, we had the Batmobile and all.
What is the Batmobile?
You'll find out.
Heather,
I'm excited. We just met. Heather. Anyway,
the Wolfmobile. But so we ended up going to the event was called Weed Mayhem, and when we got there, I was like, I just looked around like, what the fuck? Like, this shit is sweet, And I'm like, we supposed to be at this. This is something that we supposed to be at right here, And maybe next time, if you ever want some live streaming, whatever, we also do that too. So if you want the events to have live stream, we got mobile streaming services and everything. So let us know. That way people can be in tune and everybody can be right there watching. If they're not there, they can be right there tuning in like, oh wow, this is going on, and that way we can connect.
I agree.
So, and then we saw this lady come on stage right here. This lovely lady named Heather Richmond, which I want to introduce, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody, welcome and give a round of applause for Miss Heather Richmond. One of the producers and curators of the event, and she did a splendid job up there by introducing and just making everybody feel warm and comfortable, and I felt very warm and comfortable, and it was a blessing to meet you, and thank you for coming down and taking the time out to come down and be on The Marijualogist.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I really, really appreciate it. That this is one of the great things about the events, right? And then I tell people, it's like you get so many different people from the industry. You get like dispensary owners, distribution company owners, shows.
Heather,
Healers, yes.
I need you to pull that mic a little closer, yeah.
Closer.
And
There we
turn
go. I know.
off
I'm
the
like,
lights, too.
I'm a mover, okay?
There
So if
we
you
go.
like see
And
me
a
like
shaker,
moving on
you
the
know?
screen.
Make love to it.
Yeah, like you
Well,
said.
thank you.
Eat the mic. Eat
I'm
the
like,
mic.
rah. Okay, so now I'm in the mic.
There we go.
So what's really cool is just that, right? Like you meet so many cool people from so many different backgrounds that are all very forward on the cannabis movement. So I like that part of it is what I tell people, like is the synergy that happens there that people get to meet and connect with other people that maybe they normally wouldn't have thought would have been in the space. And even people who are new to the space, right? Like these are the kind of events that we want to bring them to say like, listen, this is like a whole experience. I mean, you're coming into these events and it's like true experiential marketing. I mean, we have people interacting on so many different levels. And right now, I just want to give a huge shout out to the entire team at Weed Mayhem. Kelly Ramey is a rock star. Lana, Haya, Isaac, like I just, because, and Michael, you know, the founder of the company.
Yeah.
They're just, it took a whole team to get this together and really go forward and make it that kind of a special night that everybody felt, which is like the biggest honor that we can get is that, right? When people walk away, like saying all the great things that you guys have said about it is, you know, amazing. And so, you know, it was a different experience because it was at the Greek Theater.
I was going to say, and for it to be at the Greek Theater, you know?
Yeah, and you know, previous to this, I had been doing events, and then I had teamed up with Kelly, and we, you know, started hosting a lot of these different cannabis events, and so we had like different people who had wrote letters on our behalf, you know, saying that every time it was a super professional event, and really bringing that validity, saying like, listen, this would be a great thing to approve because this could be an example, right, for the city. And so with the team and everybody, like we submitted everything to them, and I think that they saw the different approach too because we're tech, and that's a main focus. I mean, we are like the Amazon like marketplace for cannabis. And so we were coming from a different angle. You know, and the crowd, really makes that. So I think it was really special, and a huge shout out to the Greek Theater because, you know, they were there and they hosted us and they were amazing. And I think that it also showed the Greek Theater, like, listen, this can go down and be professional.
Successful.
You're seeing these industry people that are totally responsible. There wasn't one person hammered drunk there. Did you see anybody?
Not at all.
It was classy, and I tell you, I
Very
used
classy.
to do events, and the production value of that event was insane. It was beautiful. It was classy. It was. You walked around, you were like, wow. And I've gone to a lot of entertainment events over the years, and it was very well done.
Well, I appreciate that big time.
And this lovely lady who just spoke is Sacred Wings, we should say. This is Miss Janelle from Sacred Wings. Welcome to the show as well. You know. But I wanted to say in a nutshell, tell our viewers what is a Weed Mayhem.
Weed Mayhem is a tech platform. So it's essentially an Amazon-like marketplace for the cannabis space. So a brand can come over and upload their products and then get exposure on a global scale. I think what really differentiates us, besides being a multi-vendor platform and having this geocoded technology that will actually track a user from wherever geographically they are, and it will allow them to only purchase products that are legal within their current jurisdiction. And so I think that the regulation side of it is really huge because we're going to regulate the business. But I also think it's great for brands because the founder of the company actually is a very high-level growth hacker. And so what he does is he has the ability to like target very specific campaigns to people who are looking to be in the space or purchase something, right? A CBD product. It could be an ancillary product. It can be a cannabis product. And then from that, I mean, the last month, we had 2.2 million users.
You said it took me like 5 years to develop. It was in development.
5 years.
Getting this together.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not like a fly-by-night. You know, I try to emphasize that. Like, this was really 5 years
Crossing
in the making.
T's and dotting I's on a lot of levels.
100%. And, you know, he worked really hard to get to this stage. And really, I think that he thought of every single piece that it takes to be compliant and the questions that, like, even consumers and brands would have. I mean, there's 2,500 product categories. So it's exciting. So
the event was exciting.
Well, good. And that's what we were hoping for that, is so that people can roll into this saying, like, wow, this is something totally different. And I think that people will see that when we have our final, like, you know, launch for the consumer side of the marketplace.
Okay. If I could jump in real quick.
Sure.
I wanted to point out, Heather Richmond, you are the Chief of Business Development.
Yes.
AKA CBD.
That is correct.
And I would like to think that that was by no mistake that you chose that title.
Listen, I would just say that it made sense.
Okay, very good.
It made sense.
And you're also a board member.
Yes.
So this is a responsible company with individuals who have skin in the game in the cannabis movement. You know, in the brief moments we talked at Weed Mayhem at the Greek, you mentioned that you're not new to this. You're true to this. You spent many, many decades, not that many because you're not that seasoned.
Let's say one.
Let's say 20 years.
Let's say one. That's fair, right?
Right.
Don't even do a 1.2.
In the industry, okay? No, but you spoke to me about how many years you had spent in the industry and that this is nothing new to you. And it's one thing to claim that. It's another thing to see you walk through the crowd and they all recognize, hug, love, call me tomorrow. I didn't even think we'd be able to make contact with you because I figured that the event was so huge you'd never be
pulled in like so many directions, you know, rock star and all this shit. I'm like, she's not going to deal with us right now. We'll catch her in February.
First of all, with Ecor and definitely getting you in here, and also by your diligence and your commitment to this cause in coming in here and taking the time out to both of you ladies, in fact, for that matter.
Thank you.
Out here with Janelle got to speak on.
Yeah, that means a lot. That means a lot, and I really appreciate that.
Hard work is recognized.
Thank you. You know, and it's crazy because I think about all the things that like has happened to me, right? Like from having the big win of like opening the first dispensary in Central Oregon, you know, down to like having this huge growth. No, I'm born and raised in San Diego.
Okay.
But I went up there, you know, just kind of a little shift in life, and I got up there, and my neighbor actually was growing big weed next door, right? So I was on a big property, and I'm like, there is no way that this guy is growing that kind of weed out there. And sure enough, I walked in there, I was like, I'm like, we can do this. And so
Holy mayhem.
That was a lightweight movie you just created.
Yeah, you know what's funny? And it's only the start, but I can say that, you know, I've really tried to participate on every end from seed to sale, and now this whole tech side that I'm totally embracing, which is a new space for me as well. And I feel blessed. I mean, now I realize when I think about being rated, like, what that meant. You know what I mean? Like to go from A to Z and have that experience. Like a lot of people see me and they'll see me in the evening gown and I'm like floating around. I'm like, oh, hi, it's great to see you.
Right.
But people don't know, like,
the flip side to that.
The flip side.
Underside to it.
The flip side. So I understand everything, and I understand what, you know, the shift from the black market and kind of this whole transition that everybody in the industry is really up against right now.
Yeah.
Right? Like you have people that want to shift but don't shift, and certain organizational groups like aren't able to process the applications fast enough. Like that's really happening.
Because I'm dealing with the social equity program right now.
100%. And I get a lot of this.
What's going on with that? It's just they like they're so confused with it. It's taking forever. You know, but I don't know. I guess whoever the powers that be, they're like, we're gonna just see how much we can do, whatever we can do to make sure we get all this money before we let the floodgates open. You know,
yeah.
That's what's happening, really.
Yeah, and listen, you know, Ryan Bacchus from the California Cannabis Coalition, they're like a big political group here, and you know, I really go to him for like a lot of the facts and stats because this is what he does. You know, I mean, he goes up to Sacramento and he's in the mix.
Right.
And the things that I've just heard from everybody, I mean, like people are being raided right now because their temporary license expired and they try to do everything they could. And then what happened?
Out in Riverside right now, they have helicopters in DEA and all that out there right now.
It's crazy, right?
It's all been on the news, you know.
Even people who are trying to do it legal, you know. I mean, really, there just has to something has to happen right now to get people to get these applications done and to give people a shot to be an operator.
Be an operator.
Know? So, I mean, listen, I can get passionate on this stuff. So I'm saying,
that's what it's about. That's what the platform is for.
Yeah, and I
get passionate.
Yeah, I mean, because it's important to me, you know, and I've just seen the transition happen now, and even overseas. You know, I was over in Greece, and
Damn, girl, you international.
Yeah, I've been on the move, boo. I have
Austina Powers.
But I was there when they had passed the legislation over in Greece. To actually legalize, not to medically legalize cannabis, and so
closer to your microphone.
Closer to the microphone.
There we go.
So being from here and then seeing it over there, I'm just like, man, like there's a shift. Africa, another great example.
Yes,
India,
I've been hearing it. Yes.
another great example. You know, I've been working diligently to get this project done right now in Sierra Leone. I mean, and to change lives, to get women executive leaders who are going to come in right now and change the dynamic of
We
what's
just spoke
happening.
about women power in the game.
I am about women power, and you know what? I appreciate you a lot for saying exactly what you said about women power, because I think it's important that people literally
Very
come
important.
out and they voice themselves, and women become, as they are now, we're powerful beings.
Well, if
And-
I could wax
Women love
political
cannabis.
very briefly, because
Yeah.
we do cover the political aspects of cannabis, and I think as the country goes, so too does the political impact of women in cannabis. And Coretta Scott King was quoted earlier today, perhaps yesterday on the news, speaking to women and saying to them the importance of women stepping into the political arena. And shout outs to the squad.
The squad.
Right on,
Yep.
sisters.
The squad.
And you know, this should also happen in cannabis. You know, you look at cars and engines perhaps as men, but you look at flowers as women. You know,
Feminized.
right? And isn't that the one I like to smoke? The feminized one?
Most definitely.
With that said, I think it's a good time, without commercial interruption, to swing to our sacred wings. Miss Janelle Renee joins us, holistic health consultant, energy
It's like a
release
singer's name,
and
Janelle Renee.
healing sessions,
I like it.
and an herbalist. The list goes on. I want to welcome her to the microphone. She's been
you.
shopping
Thank
at
you
the
so
Welcome, Miss Janelle Renee. Sacred
Quite
Wings in the
patient, by
building.
way.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much, you guys inviting me here
No
and
doubt.
meeting you all. We had the best conversation, like you were saying, at the event. And it's one of those things when you just meet someone and all three of us are like,
Yeah.
talking about all these different things. And I know Richard and I, we also had a deep conversation about all kinds of holistic things as well in plant medicine. So
Hey, I was
just-
high. I thought I was in a confessional, and I might have said some things I didn't want you to know. I'd like
no,
you
you're all
not
good.
to
You're all
repeat
good.
them.
I plead the fifth.
At least attorney-client privilege.
Client-patient privilege. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Vault.
Thank you very much.
From the vault.
Tell us about yourself, Janelle. You have a beautiful name, first of all.
Oh, thank
And-
you.
No doubt.
Thank you very much.
But wait, there is more. You sent us some pretty pictures. So let's show some of those.
Ooh la la.
That's my
Ooh la
business
la.
attire.
And by the
so
way,
I'm a little
by
different.
The way,
I like
now go
it.
back,
I like
to the
to
last
push
picture.
boundaries.
Go back to the last
Orale.
picture. Now, by the way, the adornments, the ear adornments, the earrings, she actually makes these.
I make-
Is that right?
Make
She
those,
makes
the
them.
body
Wow.
chains, the bracelets. I do.
I love it.
That's what she just told me earlier when I saw those earrings she has on. She said that she makes those, so I just wanted to point that out.
And what about all those jars?
That's my
What's
the
that?
infamous
That's the-
tea wall. So if you come in for a session or just
No.
come have tea or a smoke or whatever, you will see this gorgeous tea wall. So I have my own. I'm an herbalist for over 15 years, both
Nice.
self-taught and accredited, and I have my own tea line, which is herbal and not cannabis yet, but perhaps
Coming
we're branching
soon.
out.
Soon.
Hey, sister.
and it's also-
a friend of mine actually gave me a cannabis tea,
Yeah, we got one
and
at my party.
I'm not real big on edibles like that or through the gut processes for, consuming cannabis. You can have mine.
I tell
on
you,
home
for
with you.
someone who not a big smoker for me personally.
That's right.
And I tried it years ago for some pain stuff, and it was okay. But for me, I get the most benefit from the oils, both
Most definitely.
CBD and THC. We're all different, right? In the way we intake any type of medicine, right? Whether it be pharmaceutical or plant-based medicine.
Pharmaceutical.
I know, I'm not a big proponent of that either, of course. However, in my profession, what it's really important to do is talking to people about what works for them, whether it be food. A lot of my clients do ingest or smoke cannabis, in various ways they intake it. And we talk about the ways that benefit them the most, depending upon what they're trying to manage, whether it be pain management, anxiety. They're dealing with different neurological things like MS or anorexia or whatever it may be. And the dosing is very specific. It can be the way they intake it may work for them or not. And even different parts of their management of the diseases, then it may shift and change. So it's very important to have conversations with professionals if you have any questions about how you want to intake this as a plant medicine.
Right.
All right. This could be somewhat of a shift in the dialogue, but I want to stay on this disease. And our topic tonight is pain.
Pain.
We talked about chronic pain. I think both of you ladies, Janelle, with the work that you do, even though you may not work with a lot of cannabis, and of course I want to talk about some of the other things we talked about at Weed Mayhem. It was Weed Mayhem. What the hell? We talked about mushrooms and all kinds of other alphabet drugs or psycho whatevers that were out there. But also, Heather, from your background and your expertise here with Weed Mayhem, I know that you can speak to this as well. Back to the topic of pain and disease, I think that's the biggest arena where this humble little plant is going to really prove itself. It started way back in the day with hemp, from the constitutions to the rope they used in World War I. Hemp will save the world, hemp for victory. We all know those stories, right?
Yeah.
All right. But beyond that, look at what's going to happen now. And I'm sure that Big Pharma is one, shaking in their boots, and two, reconnoitering like crazy to get lined up on what's going to happen next as cannabis extracts, I call them, derivatives.
That's right.
Is going to evolve. And we've also graciously got Donnie G via Skype still joining us. It's late back east, and I thank you, Don, for hanging around with us. So I've set the table. I'd like you all to weigh in on it, commercial free.
All right. Well, first I'd like to say hello to your beautiful guest there on the panel.
Oh,
thank you, Don.
That's
so charming, isn't he?
It's not pointed towards you, equal. So it's a pleasure to see such lovely ladies as fighters of holding the torch, as it were, because we're all on the front lines and we're dealing with tyranny. We're dealing with someone vilifying a plant that helps people, and this is not coincidental. It's actually something that relates to the pharmaceutical, prison, and military industrial complexes in this country. And because of that, we're having to fight for our rights. And the first thing we have to do is come together and stop letting divisiveness be the catalyst for us not having the collective force to be able to say, we demand to be able to partake of a natural plant that grows from the earth without being processed. We demand it as human beings, whether you're left wing, right wing, whatever your situation may be. We need to all come together and allow that to be the catalyst for change that we all so need and deserve.
All right, so now I want to swing to the ladies on the panel, and I'll leave it to you ladies to decide who wants to launch into that next. Again, our topic is pain. I want to circle back to pain because I don't mean to be redundant, but old people do that. Cannabis is very helpful in helping me get through this process. However, the fact is, it really is all about the ability to address all of these maladies that we are beset with in society, it seems. The cancers, of course, HIV and AIDS, and
you name it. You go at
ADHD
least 40 different
Parkinson's
ailments.
Disease,
dementia, hypertension, cachexia,
oh my God, it's just
Crohn's disease, tinnitus. You just keep going.
Diabetes.
And the worst I've ever had is a skint knee. I've never really broken a bone in my body, and I've been through some pretty crazy experiences. Almost being killed by a boat in the Bahamas, not knowing that the boat couldn't turn while I was riding in front of him on my jet ski. I thought he was going to make a left in front of me.
But
That
we have
didn't
to say
happen.
this, though.
But my
disclaimer.
point being that, so let's get back on pain, please.
No, I'm saying, but we have to say this as well, that even though CBD is a powerhouse in what it does, we still have to have a good diet. You still have to have dieting. It has to be in place.
Nutrition is essential.
Nutrition is very essential. It has to be in place.
But I think there's also a statement to be made.
It's part of the entourage.
I think there's a statement to be made about, of course, cannabis makes you hungry. So it's always addressed wasting disease and initially discovered amongst AIDS patients who were in
Loss
the
of
final
appetite.
stages. All that stuff, yep. And then it transitioned on to other people who have difficulty having an appetite. Hey, if you catch a common cold and can't eat, smoke a J.
Yeah,
You'll be hungry in a
definitely.
minute. Am I wrong? Tell me I'm lying.
Yeah.
Ladies, the pain part of it, and I think I want to start with Sacred Wings. Janelle Renee, who is a holistic health consultant. You've been very patient and listened to us for a long time. So tell us, how do you address these issues with pain and
So what you're talking about, the entourage, looking at the whole person, body, mind, spirit, and heart, right? What they're going through. So and then identifying what works for them the best. So if they are using, cannabis products, and like I said, a lot of my clients do in some form or fashion, also looking at the other parts of what is going into their body, right? Going into their working out or meditation, whatever it may be. And I have found that any kind of plant medicine that you use, whether it be cannabis or herbs or a combination, which always works well, is the more that you bring your body into alignment with using other types of holistic therapies. Like I also do sound healing with my clients as well, which helps with pain reduction. So it helps the neurotransmitters calm down. So when you're taking something like cannabis, whether it be CBD or THC or a combination of the two, which works so good for pain control.
Exactly.
Your neurotransmitters are more able to absorb that medicine in a way that allows the body to heal and come into alignment even quicker. So I don't think we talk about that enough, how to support our ways and other types of modalities, whether it's having lectures at the different dispensaries or different things that help people realize that it's more than just doing one thing.
Exactly.
Right?
It's more than just a flower.
It's more holistic, right? And there's so many things. You can make that flower work for you even more by looking at other areas of your life to become healthier.
Well, teach us.
I agree.
I'll tell you everything.
I concur.
Give you everything you want to know.
For sure. We're gonna
I concur. I concur wholeheartedly because CBD and THC, the endocannabinoid system, the receptors, if we utilize both in the entourage effect, if you will, this is all we need to create homeostasis and balance in our systems. And it allows CBD and THC allow your body to do the jobs that it's supposed to do better from an immune standpoint and so many other standpoints. It allows your body, it is the catalyst that allows your body to do what it's supposed to naturally with no side effects. So why is it being demonized? Why is it being thwarted everywhere where you hear about these raids and things that are just absurd about a plant, about a flower?
Well, because it'll start, the masses will start being healed more, and then the big pharma will kind of be slowed down. Their doors start slowing down a lot, and people will start resorting to this plant, right? So that's going to cut down money. It's going to cut down employment. Doctors will be waiting for somebody to get shot or a jaw broke or something so they can do something, because they're going to be like, man, that thing that was really banging for us, which is the cancer, is like, it's slowed down. Like, what are we going to do? I can't get my wife that boat, that extra trip to the Bahamas or whatever, because everybody's resorting to what's really happening, the real deal. So that's the only reason why they want to keep lobbying and keeping that down and suppressed. That's the only thing.
And the other thing
Chanel.
that scares me with big pharma coming into it, and you mentioned briefly about isolating certain components and separating them right from the plant and the oil, like they have done with so many other things over the years. And what happens when you do that is you're separating out the plant. So all of a sudden you've lost all the other chemical constituents in the plant that helps to balance the body. You know, you have, so all of a sudden you have all of these different things that happen to your body. You know, regular plant medicine does not have anal leakage or all these other crazy things, right?
They cause oily discharge in
so
your
your
gas.
body freaks out and doesn't
murmurs.
know. Yeah, all of a sudden you have side effects that would never happen in nature. But that's how big pharma can then keep you in that cycle.
It's like keep you on this pill. It's like they stick with us. This is what's going to almost save you. How are you going to make a medicine that's going to almost save somebody, but then tell them there's no cure for this? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's all bullshit.
And if you don't mind, I want to say one thing really quick. So like, Big Pharma is getting into it. So it's not like listen, them keeping it down for a minute until they get it figured out is one thing. What it is. But they already are, and they're already setting it up, and they're already going out and buying grows. They're already doing it, and guess what? They are also going to produce that kind of medicine, right? They're gonna like. This is what's inevitable to happen right now. You know, that's why a lot of people right now in the industry, it's like secure your position.
Exactly.
Because they're coming.
They're
okay.
coming.
It's not a matter of when, it's when, right? Did I even say that right now? I didn't even get that right now. So, but I mean, that's the bottom line of it, you know? So I think that, you know, right now it's like all of the pioneering people who are coming out talking about like, how much, like how, like we're essentially their marketing tool, right?
No doubt,
like,
no doubt.
We're out there,
They're watching.
we're
They're
promoting
watching us.
it.
They're watching what's going on.
100%.
But the good thing about it is we had this discussion before. The good thing about it is all the companies that are out right now are making their presence.
Yep.
They're making themselves known because there's going to be a market full. Like when you go to the grocery store, there are different products, different things. You just take your choice of what you want. Now, when Marlboro and the Newports, which are already in position, my thing is this. Why would I want to go to a company that I know for years that's been destroying lives, but all of a sudden y'all get into this new thing and I expect to go to y'all product? I don't think so.
They're starting their own brands, just so you know. So they're not necessarily, Marlboro won't have it.
Exactly.
They already do.
Another name.
They already have a brand out right now.
But once we find out what whoever the byproduct of the whatever that parent company is, once we find out who that is, you know, community, unite. You know what I'm saying? Spread the word. It's like Transformers. Spread the word. When we know what that company is, spread the word.
Well, it's consumer education, right? Knowing what kind of product you want, right? It's like when Coke bought all the kombuchas and that kind of thing, and their formula shifted.
Now
you just have
Coke
to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, one thing I wanted to talk about too, because we were talking on like the healing aspect, right? And like pain, okay? And I think that one thing that's like overlooked right now is like people who are withdrawing from pain medication, okay? Because you have these veterans, you have these professional athletes, you have moms, you have daughters, you have sons, you have husbands that are literally, they have one injury, they go into the hospital, and they pump you on pills. I was diagnosed 2 years ago with thoracic outlet syndrome, and I remember just from my personal experience I'm speaking from, I was on all these pain medications in the hospital, okay? Dilaudid, morphine, I mean, everything. I'm like jacked up for days, like 40, 50 days, right? But what they didn't tell me, though, is that when I got out of the hospital and I had to stop taking the pain medicine, how jacked up it would be, and I would withdraw and feel like I'm going to die.
That's why they tell you, well, you're not addicted, you're just dependent.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But you know what saved my life? Was a 25 milligram straight Cushy Punch. And I've never even met Ruben, the CEO of Cushy Punch yet, which he should reach out to me because I rep for that company hard. But I took a 25 milligram Cushy Punch straight up. Right after, like, I started to feel that withdrawal feeling because it's the worst pain. Right. It's like a back pain on steroids because your whole body is like frozen.
Yes. I know about back pain.
Yeah,
severe.
Exactly.
Now.
Yeah, but I did that for 5 days and it stopped my withdrawal symptoms from pain medication. And that pain is so crucial, right? And that's why you see these great athletes that like end up shrinking down, you know, because they got stuck on pain medication.
Exactly.
Like, what? Like,
That's right.
It's crazy.
Or end up getting on drugs, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
CBD has made a big difference.
Medication is the gateway drug.
It is.
Alcohol is more of a gateway drug than cannabis any day of the week.
And that's why.
That's right.
Now, on the Marijualogist, over the 10 years, I've been producing the show for like 5 years, going into 6 years now, and we normally didn't even smoke on the show because we always tell people that we're not a stoner show. We're more, about the efficacy and global impact. But I started smoking on the show in 2019 just to show people and dispel the myth of what they think cannabis does to the mindset or whatever. Now, we're in a professional environment setting. I have professionals here. I have a blunt in my hand. I'm smoking it. Now, am I tweaking? Am I forgetting what I'm saying? Am I spaced the fuck out? I may be relaxed, but now I'm in a relaxed setting where I don't have to feel like I'm on camera and I have to talk this way. I can feel relaxed and speak and still show that I'm intelligent, I'm educated, and I'm professional, and this is what it is. And to dispel the myth to all you people out there that possess the cannabinoid system in your body that you are allowing to go to waste because you have not delved into the flower.
That's right.
Flower.
There it is.
Female flower.
Yeah.
Female flower.
Female power.
Power.
Female flower. Female power.
Yeah.
So, what you feel? How do you feel, Don?
I echo everything that's been said there tonight. It's like great to be on the show with people that are like-minded and are awake and on that vibration frequency, if you will, on that level where it's just like, hey, people are understanding finally, and a lot of people are beginning to be woke in this regard.
No doubt.
That we've been lied to. We've all been lied to.
Man,
and,
go ahead.
And we've been programmed to believe that the first thing we should do is go to, put some chemicals through our body as opposed to something natural. And that's just not the first thing. That's just not natural.
But think about all the patients that have gotten prescriptions from the doctor and went and got it filled. And then we went right home and just took it because the doctor gave them the prescription and said, this is what you should take. And
For sure.
No research, because I've had discussions with people about CBD and the oil, the tinctures and everything. And I'm sitting there around, this is in the neighborhood, right in the hood, And I'm sitting there talking to people that's smoking with me and other people drinking and stuff. So I'm explaining to them about how they could take this particular med. And then I got somebody saying, oh, that ain't for everybody. And I'm sitting there like, but you got a bottle in your hand. Yeah. And then I broke it down to them and said, all of us out here, including myself, are guilty of going to the doctor, getting a prescription, going to the pharmacy, getting going to get it filled. Then you go there, as soon as you take it home, you take it, and you ain't never researched nothing about that pill. I said we're all guilty, and I guarantee you, you're still guilty to this day right now, and never researched anything. Right, this was in that moment when I was telling them. Everybody was quiet. I said, you want to debate me about a medicine that I told you that the only side effect it's really going to give you is it's going to give you the munchies. And then you got somebody saying, shit, I don't want nothing that's going to make me, all this negativity. I don't want nothing that's going to make me eat. I'm like eat all, eat like crazy. I'm like, duh. That's you the one controlling your eating.
Put some carrots in.
But you're the one controlling your eating. You can eat or not eat. But that's the worst it's going to do to you is give you the munchies, an appetite.
Let me just say that not only as a CBD expert, but also as a cannabis expert, because I'm a medical marijuana patient myself because of my back injury being hit by 2 drunk drivers in a 10-year period. I do everything. I do cannabis and I do CBD, and having the positive effects of all of those things are the reason I'm alive now. I was on so many opioids that were prescribed to me from A to Z.
They had you going left, right, up, down, diagonal.
And, well, I couldn't do anything. I had
he's like,
I couldn't do anything. I had no cogent thought. I was laying in the bed like a zombie.
Imagine them side effects.
and so, this has saved my life. And it's so many other people that come into my store that talk about how CBD has actually saved their lives from cancer, how CBD has stopped them from smoking cigarettes, how CBD has helped them with diabetes. And most of these maladies and ailments that are affecting all of us are based on free radicals and inflammation in our bodies. And CBD is a natural anti-inflammatory as well as other cannabinoids. So it's great for us to be able to understand that the endocannabinoid system is something that brings balance and homeostasis to our lives and our physiology. And CBD and THC are the key components for that.
So imagine all the side effects that those people had, for all those different, pills, even the ones that you were taking, you know what I mean? Like, and you got yourself out of danger so quick because you could have been you couldn't be on this phone right now with us on the Skype call because you'd be somewhere, drugged up off of all those opioids,
Yeah, I don't think we need to do much imagining to see the results of the overprescribing of opioids.
May cause bloody heartbeat.
Let's look beyond
what?
that.
Bloody heartbeat. What is a bloody heartbeat?
A bloody heartbeat.
May cause shift in your jawline. May cause loose teeth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The side effects are
right. May cause boys to start having breasts. You ever heard them? Are you serious?
Yeah, that's
but yet your sneeze is gone.
Yeah. You're like,
wait. So hold on.
My sneeze is gone.
I think we have a more productive conversation in the end if we extol the benefits of cannabis and what's going to happen next in our community, because we're not dealing with this side effect issue. And I think most people are well aware of what's happening now, and this is why this new march for CBD legalization is taking place in places that I never thought would happen. Like Pennsylvania, bearing in mind that is the Quaker state.
Man,
I'm from there.
No, are you?
I was born in Gettysburg. Yeah, I was just home
Gettysburg?
in
Goodness.
Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
Man,
Wow.
Hold on, wait
So
for
back
it.
home, they've been
Wait
talking-
for it. There we go.
Gettysburg.
Shouts to Gettysburg.
I was just back home last week, and they were talking about that. And there's a big CBD farm that is going in next to my mom that they're growing for the oil, and then they're looking for farmers to. It's a whole big movement back there,
And a transition in farming.
Yeah, exactly.
Gettysburg.
I mean, if you imagine once this humble little plant is rescheduled, or really not but descheduled, and we're able to grow hemp in America, oh my God, Gap might come back.
Well, yeah, we can grow hemp right now.
Is that right?
Yeah, so December 10th of last
hemp is
year,
legal.
they had the farm bill that was passed.
Okay.
Yeah, they did.
And so
Right,
now
exactly.
you can grow, but like each state has a different regulation, right? So like there's one main, but check local with your local state, you know what I mean, to make sure you're compliant and where their regulations and terms lay, as far as what they're doing. But no, you can definitely do that. I think what needs to be fixed though is the cost of doing business, especially with hemp. People are like, oh, it's a cannabis plant, so let's check up the prices, So now it's like you want to make it affordable for a farmer to farm here and provide product for here in the United States, and make it affordable for them to export the product as well to be able to make that revenue for our country, right? There's like two sides of that.
And then, why shut that down? This
So-
is like $1 billion.
Let me just chime in.
Don, before you chime in, I want you to hold that thought,
Across the country, it
because
could be trillions of dollars probably.
hold on. Before Don chimes in, I just want to do a little shameless plug, and that's for the Marijuana Tax Act stamp T-shirt that we're selling on Teespring these days.
Yes.
Right, hold
Get the
on.
merch.
And it comes in a tank and in various colors.
Nice.
I like it.
We came up with this idea because we thought it would be real fun to use the tax stamp to represent how legalization first began to be discussed that many years ago.
Yeah.
Do you all acknowledge or recognize that hemp was grown on the Potomac? On the banks of the Potomac, they grew hemp. It was easy and accessible to the White House
Yeah.
and
That's right.
endorsed. But then came the laws against the Mexicans and the brown people, and marijuana became a bad word. I love the term cannabis, but I don't like the term marijuana because what it represented to a good friend of mine who was Mexican, and how Mexicans were demonized way before jazz musicians, perhaps.
Correct.
Those lazy Mexicans, and they're building everything in LA right now. I'm telling you, they're lazy.
Love my Latino brothers
and
This is how they were demonized. So all that said, I use the marijualogist because it's a play on words. I only love to use the word cannabis as it relates to this humble plant. Can you imagine once we get totally descheduled, how you talking about making America great in the future? Well, that's where that lies. It really lies in the freeing of the plant, and shouts to our good friend Arnie Lichtenstein,
Yes.
who joined us from his company, who has a T-shirt and hat line and all that kind of stuff. Everybody
last.
wants to see it legalized.
Yes, it's free at last.
Finally,
shirts.
free at last. Thank
He
you.
has, he has jail
Thank you for
bars
that.
with all these little nugs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Break it
Behind
out.
the bar, and the doors, and the
Free
bar
at
doors open, and
last.
someone in front of it. You know, they got this look.
Hey,
That
ladies.
is awesome.
One last thing, one last shameless plug. I want to say we've got some magazines we laid out for you ladies, and you'll see both Arnie and Vibration Frequency in there. And Arnie has a full-page ad. We reached out to him. I hope he's tuning in right now.
Is that where the shirts go?
Nuggle Magazine. Shout-outs to Nuggle, to CJ and
Yes.
Esther. They've just recently launched their new Nuggle TV, and I was checking it out with Big A and the crew there. So shouts to y'all one more time. A rousing round of applause for Nuggle and Nuggle TV. And most notably, Nuggle stock went up, I think, about 10-15% after the launch of Nuggle TV.
SPLS.
One more game.
Yes,
Nuggle
SPLS,
TV.
right
Shouts
there.
to Esther, CJ
Yes.
Maloney, all the good folks over there, and our good friend Bob Waters, wherever you are. Now, back to the panel. And Don, you had something to say.
I wanted to chime in on the fact that of the earlier part of the discussion about the boon in the farm and agricultural community that is going to be spurred on by these great plants, and the fact that the Farm Act and it's legal in 50 states now to grow hemp is how we're able to provide CBD derived hemp in our store. That being said, I really fear, and I hope that this never comes to fruition, but I really fear that horrible companies like Monsanto will come up with their own genetically modified version and do the same thing that they've done to farmers with corn that has been done to bankrupt farmers, take their land from them, and give Monsanto more acres to grow their crops.
Yeah, and if I could add on that really quick, because you're talking about that. So Monsanto already does. Okay, so let's make sure, like, they for sure do. I think that the important part of what you say about the farms is that like, I think right now there's so much more awareness that's happening. Like, look at all the healthy stuff that's coming out. I think that we live in LA, so we're a little more privy to like what's happening.
Sure, absolutely.
But I really feel that right there is going to testify a lot to like great brands and people being more aware, right? It's like the oceans and consumers. So like the more that people are uplifted, we're going to see a bigger shift of that, because the Monsantos, listen, they're around, they're around, but it's just promoting those really good products and all of us vocalizing what are the good things to go out and purchase, that are going to help like a bigger set of people.
Right.
And I tell you,
Well,
big
if
companies
anyone-
like that are
if
more and more
anyone-
aware of liabilities
if
that
anyone
come
is having
from
any pain-
the GMOs and different
if
things like
anyone is
that,
having any
pesticides.
pain
and-
from
Hold on,
Yeah.
Don. Hold on, Don. Hold on one sec. I wanted to hear from Janelle. Janelle, you wanted to chime in on that as well, please.
Yeah, I think that these big companies we've seen in the health world shifting, being really careful about what they're putting out, and even the big Monsantos and like that, Kellogg's taking food dyes out of their stuff. I mean, they're really looking forward to the future of legalities and different things that are coming out when more of these studies come out, how GMOs and pesticides and everything really affects our body. So hopefully they will be smarter about that too, those Monsantos and their GMOs and everything,
Could they be
so
that
that
evil?
we're moving forward.
Are they that evil? You know.
I mean, let's say they don't have a good rep on the street.
Well,
Yeah,
I
they're-
have
Not on the farm.
I have to echo the words that we all know from the Honorable Robert Nesta Marley: have no fear for atomic energy, because none of them can stop the time.
Yep.
No.
And I think
Facts.
that what we need to own and represent as Americans and globally is the fact that the power belongs and always has and always will. The power belongs to the people. It's how you vote, it's how you advocate, it's what you represent, it's how you walk the walk as you talk the talk. So I don't mean to sound cliche, but it's very important that we recognize that we have a responsibility ourselves as advocates. And I know everyone on the panel, and I know for myself, I've been down to City Council, I've been down to Oaksterdam when they were down on San Vicente, I've walked the walk, and certainly here on the Marijualogist for the past 10 years, we've talked the talk. But the fact is, just because we're getting legalized, doesn't mean we need to give up the fight.
Right.
We've got to continue to advocate. And again, I want to go back to the Honorable Robert Nesta Marley. Have no fear for atomic energy, because none of them can stop the time. And that means even big business and big pharma and big tobacco will never take back this industry. Because guess why? A simple seed on the window of your windowsill in the sun with a little bit of water. Yeah, man, don't smoke it, but you can at least replant it, and before you know it, a tiny little seed. I've asked Ecor multiple times, as our cannabis index expert, what really is the value of that tiny little seed? It's worth more than a tomato. It's worth more than a banana.
Worth more than gold.
Worth more than gold.
Because you can't stick gold in the ground like, oh my God.
Yeah, exactly.
Gold.
This
But
shit right
that
here.
little plant right there,
This thing right here.
Fire, that is. Just FYI, everybody looking at the screen,
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
fire.
All you viewers out there.
Yeah.
this
Hold on,
is
Ja, man.
fire.
Let me zoom in them a bit. Ja, man.
there is
That little plant right there.
Fire.
Right. So all this trepidation that people have about the fact that big pharma and big tobacco are we know what they are, and I don't buy anything from big pharma. I don't buy anything from big farms.
No.
We have the choice to eat from small farms.
Believe it.
We have the
Or grow
choice
your
to
own.
farm ourselves.
And speaking of
Yep.
products,
That's right.
Speak on it.
we have products. We have products in the house right now. Independent products right now in the building. Can you hand me these products?
Let's talk about that. It's time to do that.
These right here.
What you got there?
I just brought some little treats because I
Little
figured I
sister?
didn't want to not show up to the party without cannabis.
Imagine that, please. You are the party, sister, when you show up.
Listen,
Whatever you show up with at the party, that's all we need. Closer to that microphone.
So these right here, I love these. So this is like kind of like my go-to. I bring them with me everywhere, and you know why? It's because they look like cigarettes, which is like kind of cliche, right? Because I don't want people to think I'm actually smoking cigarettes,
Right.
because I have my own views on it. But then at the same time, I'm like, well, I want to be inconspicuous, because you know what I mean. Like, you still want to be respectful of other people and that. But I mean, people like are clearly seeing it. But that's like my mixed notion.
Funny cigarette.
Yeah, this is Illuminatus. They were actually at the event, you know.
Okay.
So it was cool because they just got to talk about like their product and how inconspicuous it is, and
And that
I love
particular
it.
black label is
This is Indica. This is Chem 91, I think.
And this right here is a sativa in the red packs.
And Skittles.
And this is the Skittles right here.
Yeah. What I like about them is testing, right? Like now, it's like back in the day, we used to not, like, you just would smoke whatever, right? I remember my friend used to show up with a
Season
big
it.
No,
black
Heather,
bag, a garbage
please.
bag.
Season it.
Looked
Don't
like
tell
pancakes.
it all, honey.
Compressed.
He used to smoke whatever.
Compressed.
No, hey, listen,
I'm
back in the
like,
day, are you kidding me? In high school, I was like, it
Heather,
was
be
the
careful.
worst.
That's the
Listen,
Reggie's.
you know you gotta get hit hard
You
sometimes
need to
on the
cut
cannabis
it.
tip to
Yeah,
come
hey,
back a champ.
Now think about it. The
I'm
kids
only
today, they starting out on the,
Oh.
they starting out on stuff like
On
this.
the
Potent.
blade.
Stuff like
Oh,
this, starting off.
Yeah.
We
On the
started out with
Johnny
seeds,
Blaze,
sticks,
yeah.
and stems.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly.
Had to dust it all out. You know,
all the seeds
thinking we
away.
high. Ooh,
Yes.
I'm
Threw
good.
all
I'm
the
good.
seeds away. What
Threw
were
all
we
the seeds
doing?
away, and those are
Yeah.
some good strains too.
And look, I can only imagine Monsanto with little dustpans sweeping them up right behind.
Because you gotta realize this.
Claim
A lot of
right.
people think that they call it stress sweet or swag or Reggie's and stuff or Arizona's. Right now, a lot of people don't realize that those particular strains that we consider regular weed was actually this kind of strains.
Yeah.
But what happened was the farmers just threw the seeds out there and really didn't care
Yep.
if the male seeds, the male plant mixed with the female plant. They just wanted to just grow some cannabis, and that they did. So therefore, it pollinated and got all the seeds in there, and that's what it becomes the regular weed.
Keep
Yeah.
it G rated now.
Okay.
And the little seeds started swimming.
The little seeds started swimming.
Pollinating all little
Pollinating,
female
and all of a
seeds.
sudden, you got all these strains.
And now we
But
got
we just-
Monsanto.
so we didn't know if we were smoking sativa or indica, like when it was the regular weed.
Oh yeah.
You just knew that. Oh,
Everything
so
all
and so got the good stuff over there. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, like it was a cycle. And then before you know it, all the good stuff filter out. Then all the little regular, truly regular stuff started coming in with all the seeds in it. You know, really had no good smell to it. But yeah, people still buying it, smoking it. Then here come like 3 or 4 months later, here come all that good stuff again. You know,
Yeah.
it was a cycle. But I used to know that cycle.
I hated that roller
So
coaster.
good.
It still is the cycle, right?
It's
It gets dry, like right now everyone's dying. Then all of a sudden it comes into season,
Right,
outdoor
yeah.
starts going, the
Yep.
flood starts
Yep.
coming
Because
in.
at one time, it was like just about a month ago, almost 2 months ago, it was just like weird out here. Weird on the flowers. Very weird. And then all of a sudden,
Thank
harvest
God.
season
I
came.
know LA leads the situation out there in the cannabis, but thank God I can at least go to the dispensary and they're never out.
Oh,
That
man,
helps.
We spoiled out here, man. I can't
Yeah.
even lie. We are totally spoiled because I see so many strains daily. It's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
It is ridiculous.
But some of these names are ridiculous, though, right? Like,
Yes.
they like, come on,
Billy
you
Kimber.
You really did the genetics on that one, right,
Billy
buddy?
Kimber.
Yeah.
You know,
Your buddy gives you a seed, you throw in the back, you're like,
ice cream cake.
yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure this
Gorilla
is ice cream
cake.
cake.
What made it a gorilla glue?
yeah.
How
Why
does
number
seed
4?
become a gorilla glue?
Yeah.
You know?
And it
It
won't.
was
That's why
actually
the
a
original.
Skittles.
cross between an OG Kush, I believe, and some other strain that I can't remember right now because I'm medicated.
Don, do you know what OG stands for?
Ocean Grove.
Exactly. A lot of people think it's like
Yeah,
original
original
strain,
gangster.
original gangster strain. That's that OG.
Nah.
You know,
Nah,
it's that OG.
I do my research, family. You know this.
My
We
man's
like it.
my man's in them. I feel you. I dig it. But yeah, a lot of people don't know that about the OG. They think it's just like some, pimped out ass Snoop Dogg strain or something. Oh, that's that OG, man. Oh, that's the best. It's an OG.
Yep.
It's the OG of the bunch. Like,
Yeah,
nah,
but they're like, yeah.
That's
No, is
the
that
old-
really
that's
OG?
the old-
Or are you just
Are
saying
you
it's
saying
OG?
Or are you just right?
That's
Are you saying
the
is it
old
chronic or is it
gangster
or is it
strain.
regular? We smoking chronic, or just weed,
That's so funny.
That's the old ganja strain, man.
Yeah, and I think that's an important distinction because how old is
Oh,
it?
Got a little
OG,
rumble.
how old is it? Did we? Did we get another one?
No, nothing shaking.
Uh-oh.
But the women.
So,
I'm
I think
earthquake crazy right now with all the madness.
I think
in it.
They're playing football in the other room.
I think Don was with us one evening when we might have had an earthquake via Skype.
Get them hearts, calm them hearts down. Smoke some more.
Anyway, all right. So listen, I want to kind of put a bow on the show because everybody's got to go eventually.
We want to see what
No,
Sacred Wings
I
has to say.
can't let the marijualogist end.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
can't
That's fine.
see it.
Yeah, we're limitless, but we've got some stuff we want to show, man, and that's going to be tea. I know what that is. I want to
So,
smoke it so bad when
herbalist,
people give it. I just want to smoke it.
Sell
It's
your
so
brand.
good.
So I have a herbal tea blend brand, Sacred Wings, and it's mantra based. So a lot of our healing is, our intention, right? So power of speaking it into fruition. So I am relaxed, I am well. I grabbed these two. So what you can do is put your CBD oil in your
Oh
tea.
no, you can't.
Or
What
after.
you talking about?
Before,
Yes,
after.
So you don't want it to be
Absolutely.
too hot. So you want to wait. You don't want it piping hot. So when it cools down a little bit, because you don't want to.
You want to mess with the chemical.
Right, especially if it has THC in it, right? You don't want it to be too hot. So when it cools down a little bit, you can do that if you want, or if you have a sublingual brand, you can do it while you're doing it, or put it in. There's all these flavors and stuff now. Whatever floats your boat.
Right.
Some people don't like putting it directly in their mouth, right? So it's another way to intake it.
Right.
But yeah, it's it goes together. There are no counterintuitive or indicative combinations, right?
Yeah.
You can
Yeah,
do
'cause
your
Sure.
cannabis and any herb.
Absolutely.
It's fine.
Absolutely.
It
And
looks
it's all
just like some
good.
cannabis.
And it helps.
too,
Matter of
boy.
fact,
Make
a lot of the
them smile.
blends that are in shops will have herbs with it, other herbs to help the vehicle of the cannabis to be stronger. So a lot of your salves, right? A lot of your sublinguals have herbs in them as well.
Yes.
And I also brought, I already gave Heather one
know I
for
have.
you
See my
guys.
see my
Some bracelets. Ecor, there's one for you. And I especially Richard,
Wait, no, yes.
gave you special one. So that's Tiger's Eye. And that
Yes.
is for decision making. That is for, expansion
got
and
your
as
hair
you're
with it as
moving
well.
forward. What's that?
I got your hair with it.
Oh,
as well.
no, my DNA. You have my DNA now, huh? Watch out.
Yeah, this is nice.
And I would.
Lace agates.
Okay, so you gave Ecor Tiger's Eye.
Yes.
Okay,
Do you want to know what I gave you?
not just yet. You've given one to Heather as well.
I
right?
have.
And what have you given her?
She gave
Blue
you a
lace agate, and that is for your throat chakra. So speaking your truth, speaking your mind, standing strong in who you are and what you have to put forth into the world, which I think is very appropriate for what you're doing right now.
Indeed, round of applause.
And again, mine is a tiger eye.
Yes, tiger eye. That's
So you gonna
powerful
get what? So
medicine.
you get rich? What, you got a bad ankle?
Well, for
a
you,
bad
dear
ankle?
sir,
Wait for it. Hold on. I wish I
red
had.
agate, which is for
Okay.
clearing out negative energy and for grounding.
There it is.
Red agate.
Red agate.
So it has
Red
it's this
agate. The
beautiful
maggot. Red
Red
agate.
agate.
brown and red hues
Excuse
to it.
me.
Yeah.
I know there are a lot of rhymes in your mind, but agate rhymes with magnet.
Oh, magnet.
Thank you.
As I said,
So
magnet.
recognize,
As I
fool.
said, maggot.
Rick,
Recognize,
I
Mitches.
hey, Rick, can I ask a question, Rick? Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Sure, though.
All right, well, I
I'm a
wanna
magnet
find
now.
out-
How could I stop you?
I want to thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I want to find out from your panelists about that tea because I'd like her to forward that information and possibly a sample so that I might be able to convince someone in the organization to look at possibly carrying it.
Let's do it.
well,
I'll
this
hook
is
you
what I'm
up.
talking
about. This
You're
particular
going to get a
one-
big old basket at your door.
This particular one right here is called I Am Relaxed, and it is an organic blend of lemon balm, spearmint, and chamomile, and it's 9 ounces.
And our dashing
And-
studio model, before
Yeah,
the
the hand
Wolf
model.
Show,
The hand model.
our
Nice.
Now you
dashing
can go,
studio model.
and what you want to
before
do
the
is you
Wolf.
want to go to Sacred Wings. That's SACRED Wings. SacredWings.com. SACREDWINGS.
Got it.
.com.
Got it. And I'll get that information. Thank you.
And you can
Igor.
go
I'll
to
get that
when you go to the
information
website,
quick and
you'll
shout
see the
out
usage
because-
information as well.
Well, and for the followers here that are listening today, I'm doing a special discount code, 30%
code.
off. So the first 5 letters there, Mary J, but with an I, okay, and 30, and it will be you'll be able to see it other places. But MARIJ 30. Go to my website, and you'll get 30% all of the products there.
And that website is.
Sacredwings.com.
Right
Say it again for those slow to the pen.
Sacredwings.com.
That's what I'm talking about. Look at it. She hit her cue right on
Sacred
mark.
Wings.
We'll have a dance party. I mean, come on.
Don't do it because that'll get us blocked. Okay, we don't have the royalty rights just yet for that. Anyway,
I like it.
Chanel Renee,
Yes.
you also work with my eyes are bad. If you got something for that, let me know before you leave. Psychosyllabic sesquialistic.
Psilocybin?
Yeah, I was doing some Isaac.
Magic
Hayes song.
mushrooms?
Yes, and psilocybins or what
I'm
are
interested
they
to
called?
hear
That's when all the sex and stuff all comes
Yeah.
in. That's
No,
when all that
not
conversation
at all.
comes in. All the tantric and
Well,
all the
There's
mentric
no,
and gentric.
there's no sex in the champagne room.
I have
Let us
been
move on.
studying for a while now with different scientists and doctors, shamanic workers around the world in the places that it is legal. There are quite a few countries now where it is legal. Brazil, Netherlands, Virgin Islands. There's 3 more. Indonesia. I'm not remembering.
Oakland.
Well, it is decriminalized. So there's a difference. So it's decriminalized in Canada, in Denver, Oakland. Oregon has it on the ballot to decriminalize, and doesn't make any sense, but it's a great step. It's also on the ballot to allow people to grow it when they're licensed, but you can't sell it or consume it yet. But it's a step, right? It's kind of what happened with cannabis years ago, where they had baby steps, right? So it may be a few more years down the pipe until it is legal or, further and being able to be sold at either dispensaries. There's also a place in Vancouver that is selling them, although it's not legal, but it's a dispensary. It's a psilocybin dispensary, and they are selling the capsules.
That is crazy.
Only to Canada.
So
Only
is
to
that
Canada.
the same feeling? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I just got to know because it seems like, is it the same feeling, the capsules versus like eating the cap of it?
Okay, so it's different. So if you're going to do a trip, which
Yeah.
is what people think of when you hear magic mushrooms, tripping through the daisies, that's one thing versus microdosing, which are taking these very tiny amounts to help, similar to cannabis in some ways, where you are dealing with anxiety, pain. It's huge for PTSD. Matter of fact, the FDA has already categorized it as a breakthrough therapy.
Did you say something about restoring neurons or something in the brain?
Yes, okay. So the biggest part about this fungi is that it actually is scientifically proven to grow our neurons. Right? And so if you have any kind of brain injury, or if you're trying to deal with neural pathways that have been blocked somehow, so through stress, through trauma, other types
victims?
of... Pardon?
Stroke victims?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, all kinds of things. And it also is scientifically proven at this point to decrease dependence on opioids.
Wow.
So it's only a matter of time before that is coming forward. You'll see it's huge all around the world, huge pushes. My mentor right now does a lot of work in the Netherlands, and there's just huge research being done to have that be something. And of course, it's going to be a lot more, I hate to use the word regulated, but it needs to have someone watching over you, someone like myself or other
therapy.
people that have been
It is
versed
truly
in
a
it, because
therapy.
it does have to be watched, right? Each person reacts to it very differently. Your dosing is different, but used in a controlled environment, it can really enhance you. Even in larger doses, it can help re-pattern your neurons. So there's so much more research that is being done, and it's really great for the holistic community, right, to keep having this plant medicine that can help us. And cannabis has been the huge pathway to help,
The
allow
gateway?
these
What's the
other things to
difference?
happen.
Wait a minute.
what's
Are
the
you
difference
saying that
between-
cannabis is a gateway?
No,
To help wellness.
Wait for it. Not a gateway drug, but a gateway elevation to higher
Yes.
consciousness.
Yes,
Right.
for
Because
sure that.
once again, to
Easily.
quote Bob Marley, he said the one thing about cannabis is it reveals you to yourself. And either on a bad trip the first time, and if you're brave enough to revisit it the second
Right.
time, and
It's not gonna be the
the
same.
third
It's gonna be
time,
straight.
you'll be at the grassy
3 times,
knoll
they
of the
say,
rabbit
yeah.
hole, but about the 4th or 5th time, then you can find
in.
yourself. Because flying is unknown to us in our physical selves.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Correct.
being high can be achieved.
And that's mental.
Yeah.
Stepping outside of our physical selves, not just when we close our eyes to sleep, but through a conscious process of doing that. If you ever had lucid dreams, virtually every morning I find myself waking up thinking, that's a dream, that money's not real. No, you don't drive a Bentley.
Hey, such
That
a
girl
short
doesn't
way
like
up,
you.
Such a long way down.
You didn't just find $5,000 on the ground.
all a
None of
dream.
these things are happening to you. Wake up.
It was all a dream. Yeah.
Right?
I used
That's
to
not to
read
say my
White
life
Oak
is not sweet.
magazine.
Don't get me wrong.
I wanted to ask a question about the mushrooms though. Like, okay, what's
Have
the
you ever
what's
taken
the-
mushrooms? Before you ask the question, you got to qualify, young brother.
I've never
You've
done
never had
anything.
mushrooms?
I've never done any. All I've done is cannabis, and I've done some ecstasy before. I can count on one hand over in years how many times I've done that. You know, but the difference between the micro dosing, and you know how people say they trip out or whatever. What's the?
It's a Jacob Ladders effect. If I would say it's
So
like
why
a
do people
Jacob's
trip?
ladder
Why do
effect.
people trip if
You
they
have
don't-
to step you through the process.
Why don't people
And
trip
I'll
in
swing to
a
the
small dosage? Then they would trip on a large dosage. What's the difference in the trip?
You can't
What's the
trip
difference
on
in
a
the
small
trip?
dosage. You can.
But you're gonna feel something. For a person like me, that's a novice, never done
Yep.
it. My system is very susceptible to it, very wide open for it now. You know.
Yeah.
So when I do it, it's going to affect me probably to just a small dose. Is going to probably have me,
Now, if you wind up running butt naked through Compton,
right?
Uh-oh.
Like,
You've had too much then.
Where you running from? Where you running from? Myself.
we have to claim some plausible deniability.
Where you running from, man? Myself.
From the marijualogist.
That is why that if you do it, you should do it in a environment with someone I think who knows can spot you, and it's done from a spiritual standpoint. So our ancestors have been doing this for tens of thousands of years in sacred ceremony,
take this.
right? To heal our mind, body, spirit, and heart. So really, they did it more for physical healing.
Right.
Now, us Westerners do it for the, spiritual expansion and all of this, seeing galaxies and everything, and that's cool. However, what we're starting to really find out through science, because that's what we had to learn, we discounted all, all the other, ancestral work, and science is telling us these other things that happen. So to speak to that, some people do these larger journeys, let's call them, a larger journey with a larger dose, so they can have a breakthrough really quickly. So they will have, really, your neurons expand. Like, I will see you see the world differently even when you're completely sober.
So if I look at that picture right there.
Booty.
Booty.
No, I mean, what I mean, to look at that picture, what would it do? Like, I mean, I know everybody have a different experience, but does it like the picture move? Does it like
teacher,
talk to me? Does it?
May I answer that question?
What?
And I don't mean you as a teacher. I mean, we have a teacher on board here, and Janelle Renee. And I would like to answer that question for you, Ecor. I really would. And that is this. I have journeyed with mushrooms before. And it would behoove you not to imagine that everything you look at,
it's gonna be breathing and coming out the wall,
or cartoonish,
right,
or whatever.
Right.
I did not experience that. In fact, when I shroomed for the first time, it was during a party at my crib, and it was an all-star game or something like that. I don't know. I shroomed. I was young and needed the high. And I didn't have any of these super psychedelic experiences. In fact, a friend of mine said, man, I've never seen anybody shroom and move around as much as you did. Part of me wanted to control it because I was scared to go down that path.
Right, because I know I got a strong mind.
Now, the second time I did it, it was a little different. And I still didn't see all these psychedelic, bunnies and cartoons and all that stuff, and popcorn and stuff like that. I get that in my dreams.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm freaking crazy already.
But okay, now what if I ever
self-discovery, this self-discovery I did, and I think I am, as a result of that, today as I stand and sit here live on the mic, self-discovered as a result of that experience.
If I ever decided
partially
to do
at
it,
least.
you would be you will be the one that I would experience it.
It ain't gonna be me, homie.
Yes, in a legal way,
If I ever decided to do
me.
Right.
You'd be like a coach.
Right. If I ever decided to do it.
Hold on, Don. Hold on.
Now, would I come back? Would I be would I be gone from that point?
No,
I want to come back. I want to.
You ain't gonna be like Smokey running down the block of Compton.
Yes.
I'm telling you,
You'll be
I'm trying
elevated.
to dispel that.
You'll
find yourself. You'll unblock
Make a boogie
yourself.
talk.
Can I speak to what you were talking about? There's over
Hold on,
200
Don.
species.
Hold on. If you could hold on. All right, please, just bear with us.
Just like in cannabis, whether you have different strains, there are over 200 species
my
of
God.
these psychedelic mushrooms. So you're going to have different experience, right? Depending upon the strength, who grows it, just like in cannabis.
Right,
right?
like, I
Who
got-
grows
I
it,
got the
how
big
it's
heads that
grown,
came in today. I got the
how
big heads that came in
shelf
today.
life, because it oxidizes, right? So all of that's why it's important
Hey, I got
when
them
you're,
spots.
any kind of plant medicine, anything, even herbs, regular garden
That's
herbs.
crazy.
You have to know the source. You have to know how it's raised. And I know with your website, the great
God.
thing about that is you have sources. You have, if it's organic, you have the quality, you have the testing.
Yeah.
And guys, if I can stress anything that you put into your body in any way, research it.
No, yeah.
Period.
Say
Research
that.
it, most definitely.
Please,
Say that.
please.
Most
We have
definitely. You heard the-
technology.
Did you see the
We have the
passion?
technology to do it.
I was passionate how she said that. Research.
Say that.
Yeah.
You guys, I won't go into this, but you can look on my IG and stuff. I had a 30-year autoimmune that I suffered from, a really horrible genetic one, and I reversed it 100%.
Wow.
With plant medicine, and I did not know what I know now with the cannabis and the other stuff we're talking about. However, it helped to clean it up in this last year, and I know I will never go back, ever, ever. So you do have the power to heal your body.
Your body,
God, source, whatever you
heals
believe is your
itself.
higher power, has given us everything here on
That's
this
right.
earth.
and your body
So-
heals itself. I mean,
Yeah.
we are the closest thing to the idea of a Terminator.
No doubt.
You cut your arm,
gonna-
For sure. It comes like
Here they come.
yeah.
just not as fast.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
only
exactly.
A 60 minute,
Exactly.
90 minute movie, but that happens, right?
Yep.
And especially when you're talking about plant as medicine in the process, right?
So-
Now,
so-
Don, you had something you wanted to share with us.
Right. Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to step on anybody. There's a little delay,
No,
but my question to you, Rick, because I've shroomed, and my question to you: when you decided to stop fighting the effects and you let go, did you experience an inner transcendence? Because that's what I kind of experienced.
Well, I want to reiterate that the reason I wanted to speak to Ecor's issue with shrooms and maybe his trepidations about them as an experience, because it is very experiential. Let's acknowledge that. It's no small thing. But
True.
the reason I wanted to speak to it, because I went in as a novice, and knowing that he has not done that, he's a very clean and healthy lifestyle guy, and he is someone who is very careful and certainly anti-drug. So it was important that I wanted to speak to that to the extent of this. Perhaps my first time, and certainly the second time, and perhaps because of my makeup as a person, I've never, or I won't say never, but I seldom lose control of the high. And, as a man, forgive me, ladies, we gain points on I can handle my high, I can drive drunk.
Please.
Right?
Yeah, like,
hey, I can
follow the lines.
smoke these blunts driving to pick you up, going into the sesh, all the way home. I can smoke a blunt. Yeah,
All the
back
way.
to back to back to
Yeah.
back
You
to
can't
back.
do that with liquor.
I got that. But it is important for us to impart the message that we need to be mindful of that as well. So,
Responsible.
as a man, getting back to the shroom part, I didn't want to lose control of myself, and I've never really been so high that I couldn't bring myself back down to earth. I've been so high I had a nosebleed. It's a ludicrous lyric
No
that
doubt.
it comes from.
But
I think I'm so high I got a nosebleed.
But people need to know that in the event that
it's
they get that
important,
high,
it's
take
important,
CBD to bring it down.
And it's important for people to understand that there is always limits and measure. Now, down the rabbit hole of the shrooms, I love what Janelle Renee is offering, because that is a guided journey into one's deeper self,
Yes.
and you got to get naked at the door. Now,
Oh my God.
there could be a long hallway to that door, But you walk through the front door, and
That's a
as you
retreat.
walk in through that long corridor into the real pleasures of what mushrooms can do for you to release you to yourself, at some point you've got to strip yourself of all the things that you think about yourself.
No doubt.
And go down into that rabbit hole. Butt ass naked.
It don't get stuck down there.
In case you didn't see me on the 6 o'clock news 4 years ago.
Oh, that was you. That was you down there. That was you on Hollywood
That
Boulevard?
was me. Yeah. No,
Man.
I'm only kidding.
Running out
All
there,
of
you
this.
just had a roll of toilet paper.
I'm sorry
You know
for
what I'm
waxing
saying? Butt naked, running,
metaphorical.
You needed to get some milk.
Yeah, some flip flops. He had a flip flop, a cowboy boot on, and a roll of toilet paper.
I'm
and a
sorry
bow
to
tie. I
wax
was like,
metaphorical,
What was that?
but it's important, and I think you would enjoy that. And really, what I'm trying to engage here is for you two to get together and
You want
talk
me to get
about
on
that.
drugs? You want me to get on drugs?
Yes,
Man,
that's
get me on drugs.
Oh, now it's not a drug.
Now.
Calm down.
I'm
Calm
just
down.
messing around.
Um,
Disclaimer.
Well,
we're just playing,
anything
y'all.
that you're doing for expansion, a very good point, is to put your expectations at the door. You can have intentions possibly, but it's part of surrender, right? Doesn't mean that you're losing control. It means you're surrendering into your journey,
Great
and
word.
that's the most powerful thing you can do. I know as men you were taught that surrender is
Yeah.
weak, but I'm telling you, women,
No, no, no. I
I'm
know
telling
how
you,
to
it's so
submit.
sexy.
I love
It
to
is so sexy.
I know
So
how to
surrender.
submit. You know, I don't have a problem with submit. You know, being submissive when I have to be. You know, because somebody may know something more than me, and I don't mind. My ego doesn't get in the way if a woman knows something more educated than I am. My thing is, hey, teach me something I don't know. I'm in the game for learning.
And I gotta
We're
say,
always learning.
And I gotta say, ladies, for the guys who are on the panel tonight, and again, I appreciate you ladies being so patient for us to lay out the whole pain issue, and I think that's important as a side note to this dialogue on how we hold pain. And these two guys that are joined us here tonight have told me about the stuff. I'm like, man, they're like, I'm in so much pain right now. I'm like, how do you deal with that, bro? I don't get that, but I appreciate their honesty about it tonight. But I wanted to bring the ladies on because it's important for you all to speak to it from your perspective as well. And like you just said, Janelle, you know, we want to kind of hold it in and act like, you know, we want to be tough. And it's not just physical pain. You know, there's deep, you know, psychic pain that goes on as well. Yeah.
Yes, emotional, and even in all aspects, and we were just talking about this a little bit, when you are trying to balance your body in any way, whether it's eating better, using cannabis to help you balance your body and heal, you will often experience other types of quote-unquote detox, or think it could be emotional detox, physical detox. There is no separation between your body, mind, and spirit. There's not. So if you have a digestive system that's off, your neurological system is off, you're having anxiety, sleep issues, whatever it may be, to varying degrees. So as you are healing one system, the other system may or may not react. So it's great to be able to hit it from all areas, right? And approaching it holistically. And even when we're talking about pain, I'll jump in with that too. CBD oil, ladies, whether it's activated or not, or a combo, is amazing for menstrual cramps, for back pain, any of that stuff, you know, to help regulate. So you're not taking these other strong things that are going to hurt your liver, like ibuprofen or whatever it is. And it's a beautiful way to balance your body, especially if you use it with other herbal remedies. It's a great tool to have in your tool chest. It's helped me, that's for sure.
I agree. I totally agree.
I concur wholeheartedly.
I want to talk to you now, Heather, because you've got some experience, some background. If I'm not mistaken, as a grower. You've had your pretty little fingers in the dirt, haven't you?
I have. In
Are
fact,
you a farmer? Let's keep it real.
Listen,
Is
if
you
I'm
a farm
gonna
girl?
get to the roots. Listen, my family, had farms. Honestly, like when I was a
Really?
kid, but I was by no means like I didn't learn like any secrets from them about cannabis, that's for sure. They didn't even know about cannabis, you know what I mean? Like that wasn't at the level the family was like having conversations about that.
Right.
But you know what it was is that I found a love for the plant. And I had already listen, when I was younger, I used to smoke. I was 14. I remember sneak away. Right. I remember I used to leave my school.
I smoked at 14, Heather.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I smoked with you, as a matter of fact. What school did you do?
So that people
What school
wouldn't
was
see me,
that?
but they'd see me in the same car. They're like, we already know that's your car. Like,
There's
before I know
Heather
you're going to
again.
leave to smoke
Get
weed.
back in that microphone, Heather.
Well, back on the microphone. So I'd already been a consumer like that, but I did I really learned before even the dispensary came about or normal, I started growing. And I learned because there was an old school guy who was next door who's like literally the story of growing for 40 years undercover in this like massive ranch in the middle of Oregon in nowhere.
Wow.
And I was like, it was just like God, that like was literally like, this is it. You believe in what it is, you're passionate about it, like here we go. And so I learned, like we learned together, from this guy, and we were just schooled every single day. And listen, we were in the middle of nowhere. You're not doing anything. You know what I mean? There's nothing happening. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna hang out with your lonely neighbor who never sees anybody, and he wants to give you all of his knowledge. God bless his soul,
And
because
some
he's
weed.
amazing.
Go on and smoke with
And a little weed.
And a little cheese.
Exactly.
Go on and smoke what you want.
Exactly. And it was like trial and error, but yeah, I had my hands in the dirt. Like I learned it. Like, listen, I remember trimming all the plants up, but it's funny though, because back in the day when you trimmed your plants, we didn't save the trim.
No.
Like we does that. It already took so long to trim all that stuff. You think we were gonna wait around and try to get that? But now it's a whole nother business, the trim game.
It's a whole nother business.
Yeah, a whole nother business. So, listen, I have been a farmer, you know what I mean? I lived in Oregon. I was like, literally, we were farming ourselves, and I loved the plant. And so that love grew more and more every time I saw the girls get bigger, Like you'd pop a seed and then all of a sudden you see the clones, the plants go. And then like you're transplanting and like all of those steps. So, I've had my hands in the dirt, and it's been a medicine for me, and I've seen it be a medicine for other people too.
Right.
So it's been life-changing, So, yeah, I was a farmer. I guess you could say I was still a farmer. I have no problem. I would dig a ditch. I would pop a seed. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't dig that kind of a ditch. But I'm just saying I would dig a ditch to plant some cannabis. So,
in the immortal words of Rolls Royce.
What was that?
In the immortal words of Rolls Royce, and from the movie Car Wash and the title track, it's better than digging a ditch.
It's better than digging a ditch.
Planting a seed.
It is, and when you, it's liberating too.
You don't really got to dig a ditch with cannabis. You really got to dig a ditch when you want to plant roses, because it comes in the big bundle in the bottom, and you got to dig a little bit and put this big old rose bush in the garden just to have a rose. And don't smoke roses, ladies and gentlemen. Let's make this clear.
Yeah.
With cannabis, you can almost just take the seed and just right the tip of your finger, stick it down in the soil, and see what happens.
Yeah, unless you pop the
Better
clone.
than digging the ditch. So I don't know about that.
Yeah.
That
Well, when
sounds
I
nasty.
say
I've never
dig a
done
ditch,
it. I just want to keep this clear to all my listeners.
yeah, and some people throw it in like that, and then other people take the
outer
clone
shell, the husk,
and put it right back in. So essentially, but it's a blessing.
And I say that because one of the things I realized early on is almost like with cannabis seeds, you could be Johnny Appleseed walking through America just dropping cannabis seeds everywhere.
Man.
And having, hemp plants at least grow.
That would be awesome.
Wouldn't that be awesome? And it actually happened because that's why on the banks of the Potomac, hemp was grown for many, 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 many years.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, hemp is bad.
Let's put a bow on this show. I want to swing it to Heather because, sister, we had the greatest time. The three of us, the four of us. I think I can. Can I get a 100%?
Bonnie over there. We give a big shout out to Bonnie too over there.
You got better polls than Donald Trump right now for approval. You did an incredible job with Weed Mayhem and the crew over there.
Thank you.
That was incredible. I dug every moment of it.
What I love about you most, and while you were on stage, I have a picture of you. You look absolutely stunning, girlfriend. Hold on one second.
Yes, so gorgeous. I'm like looking back like Sarah.
Bam, there it is. Yep.
I appreciate it.
didn't
That was
know?
me all
my
dolled up
God.
tonight.
Oh, you look so good.
I appreciate it. And shout out to the team. I can't emphasize that enough. I don't want to take all the credit for
That's
it.
right.
I thank everybody, you know what I mean, on the team.
I was getting to that because
Sorry, I didn't mean
what
to
was
get
most moving for me is that the acknowledgement you gave to the team before you
Thank
turned
you.
over the mic. So once again, shouts to your team as well.
Thank you.
That handsome yet mysterious young gentleman behind you is the let's
founder.
See. I know. Hold on.
His birthday's this month as well.
I came up. I'm gonna say me and Ecor. I'm snitching on you, homie. Me and Ecor came up with some names, either Bill Jobs or Steve Gates.
or the combo maybe.
I don't know what it was, but he gave a most interesting and where the hell is he going next presentation. But very impactful. You had John Sally
Dennis
Yeah.
Rodman.
there.
Dennis,
You had Dennis Rodman
such a cool
there.
guy. Yeah, everybody. Dennis Rodman is brilliant. He's extremely smart, and he's coming out with the CBD line too. You know, I think that he's underestimated. You know, but he's definitely a very, very smart
I
gentleman.
don't know why anybody would underestimate the worm because he was one of the smartest basketball players.
I think so.
to play his
Listen, I
position.
agree.
Marketing
You know?
skills is
I'm like,
incredible.
oh my God.
Amazing, right? But if just based upon looks, right? Because not everybody knows his story, you know. Not everybody knows what that is, you know. And then when you get past that perception of being able to get to know people on many walks of life, you see that.
Because he started out in Detroit. Yeah, I'm from Detroit, so he started out with the Pistons and the Bad Boys on that. That's him and John Sally. They was the SWAT team.
John Sally.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And
Right.
both of them, two legends.
Drake's dad was
Championships.
there.
Drake's
Yes,
father
he
was there. Yes.
was.
So
Real
cute.
Dennis, yeah.
Oh, knock it.
Yeah, he was awesome. We had Percy there too. Key,
Percy was
who has always been a supporter. Honestly, I love him, and he's
Shout out
part
to
of Nuggle
Nuggle.
too.
Mhm. Just signed up with Nuggle and Juice. That's a big person.
Yeah, he's doing really good. There was a bunch of different people there. Big Mike was there.
Big Mike.
Who is the CEO of Advanced Nutrients, which is in 100 countries. Like that man is like a scientific genius. Same thing, right? Until you get to talk to people like that who like really understand the industry. Like, don't be fooled. That man is like full of knowledge.
Right.
So we had some really good people like that that were in the crowd, you know, that are just they understand the industry, you know, and they've been in it for a long time, you know, and it's nice to see that. So yeah, shout out to Big Mike. He was there.
So what's next for?
Wait, though.
What?
I also understand that this lovely young lady was there as well.
Oh,
Yes.
Right.
Oh,
Yes,
And I can't believe I didn't even get to meet you. There's like so many people there. Like I tried to get through the room, but we got like 1,500 people.
we did it for you. We got this. We got it.
Hey, and I
Connected
appreciate it.
now. We're connected now.
That's why the events are cool, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so we have a lot of stuff is coming on the horizon right now. Just so you, so I just give a shout out to where we're at. We're at weedmayhem.com.
Okay.
Our Instagram is Weed Mayhem Inc. And my Instagram is I'm with Heather Jane. And so we keep it updated, and we have like events that are coming up. The consumer launch. You think this one was good?
No.
Another
So excited.
level, and we're going to invite all the consumers to come over to check it out. All the brands that get signed up on the site are going to be a part of the consumer event, so that they'll be able to interact with the platform, you know, and just everyone will be able to like do one huge event that's going to incorporate all sorts
Back in that
of.
microphone.
Don't forget us.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all going down at the Hefner Playboy Mansion.
Hefner Playboy
Hefner's
Mansion.
going
Exactly.
with the party like rock. No, it's
With
not. No, it's not.
Marijualogist
No, it's not.
Live.
I don't know where it's going
I'm
down.
not going to forget these. These
Yeah.
guys are amazing right here. I thank you guys again, too.
We
I'm
have a
not
lot
for
of fun
wrapping
doing
up,
what
but-
we're doing. I'm going to tell you what I liked about what I saw, and I'll speak for myself, and that is you have a lot of fun doing what you're doing.
No doubt.
You love the people. The
Yeah.
people love
People
you.
love you,
You
yeah.
love the industry. You put in the time, the work, the effort, the advocacy. We love you for
Hold
that.
up. The ice bomb.
Listen, so we've done that every single event I've ever hosted before this, because I've done them at
Get
Yama
back in
Shiro
that
and
mic,
everywhere.
Heather.
Ice bomb.
It's
Ma-
a hit.
Heather, get in that microphone.
And did you smoke out of it? Did you try it?
No, I didn't. I just was admiring it.
We've
Some
lost
people, they-
control.
I didn't know. I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I didn't know if we could like go over there or whatever. I mean, I
We
mess with
weren't.
it.
So yeah, technically people weren't gonna
Get in that microphone, please. a little while.
Technically, people weren't going to be in there smoking, but then it's like you
It's a
can't stop
cannabis
people.
event.
Yeah, you can't stop people from being adults. Like it's not any different than somebody drinking.
We're smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, exactly.
But
you
I'm
know?
saying I didn't think nobody could like. I just thought it was just an artifact right there.
It was.
I
There was
didn't
two
think
of
that
them.
nobody could smoke out of it.
Yeah,
you
so
know?
it works. So I've done it
I
at other
saw
events
that.
of mine, and it works.
Wow.
I'm
And
doing
it's
it
the
next
hit.
time.
I tell them like, listen, that ice sculpture, I don't even know. That thing
That
is
thing was sweet.
amazing.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah.
Even the girl that's on the wheel that was out there spinning on the little.
Oh, the aerialist.
Oh,
Aerial
yeah.
girl.
There's
Yeah.
all kinds of
It
things
was like a
there.
carnival there.
Yeah.
They had a bubble bath, like the plastic bubble bath. You know, where you could just like the bubbles, you just dive in them, get
Yep.
lost in
Did you
them.
I
walk
saw
through
that. I brought
tunnel
soap.
thing?
Yeah.
The
And I
tunnel
was
thing.
The tunnel,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was crazy.
And one thing cool too is we had Weed Mayhem community. So like all of the people that you see at the event, a lot of those people are going into the community, right? So they're sharing pictures. We have people who post like current content on like things and stuff like that are happening.
Sweet.
So that's community as well for Community Weed Mayhem. So I'm just giving all my stuff, but I'll make sure. Oh, there it is right there. Look
There
at
it
you.
is.
You're so prepared. Like, listen, I love the professionalism.
best.
Okay, you guys are on your game.
Janelle, where can we find you?
Instagram, please. JanelleRenee.sacredwings. So I do a lot of things on Instagram, and then sacredwings.com. for my website. And I also do free 15 to 30-minute consultations on video call. If anyone wants to just kind of chat about what's happening, decide you want to work with me, because it's like dating someone, right? When you have a holistic, you gotta both gel with each other. So I like to really connect with people.
Fantastic.
And when it comes to the coupon thing, I asked you earlier via email, how long does that coupon code last?
Oh, well.
24 hours? Midnight?
Good question.
Are you,
has somebody called you 3 months later on, like, I'm ready to redeem my
you never know.
coupon.
You could get a late night call, like, it's just a booty call. Come on now. It's not that
Redeem
part of
my
the
call.
game.
Yeah, this is Jasper.
So let's clarify, please.
We're going to leave it live for 7 days so that people a chance to watch YouTube and kind of catch up a little bit. So 7 days it will be live. So
I think Donnie G wants some. Hey, Donnie G, you want to take advantage of that
I'm
coupon
some samples.
code?
I'm going to send you some.
Yeah, I absolutely do, and I apologize, but we had a power outage here because we're having a little heat wave.
It's Donald Trump and the Russians. Trust me, it's going to be okay. What happens to us every week?
You know, if we all just smoked, everything would be all right.
We can get along, of course.
Show them your Tiny Desk dispensary.
Show them your Tiny Desk dispensary there, Donald.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is a Tiny Desk dispensary moment.
Yes, I love it.
Jar City.
Where are you at? What state are you in again?
In the Quaker state.
That's Tiny Desk dispensary, ladies
In
and
the
gentlemen.
PA.
It's got
In the
jars
PA.
everywhere.
I'll be calling you when I come into town.
Jar City.
Are you going to you sometime, Heather? Do you come to go to Pennsylvania?
I'm just saying, if I
Look at
do, that's the guy that I'm calling.
Spirit
Heather,
fingers.
I will make sure
Spirit fingers.
you will not leave without that guy. And he's the guy, I'm telling you. Listen, I've said this to Ecor. I said this recently at his birthday party.
What'd you say to him?
I said, man, being your friend from out of town and coming into town, it's like going to Disneyland when you come in town to meet Ecor.
Yeah.
Because he's got the best stuff to go through. And he knows all of the best restaurants to eat.
Wow.
James. Okay, now hold on. But Don, okie dokie. You want to go to Philadelphia and eat at Bookbinders and Lebecfin, I think they're closed. But some of the and the International House of Pancakes on Walnut Street, which is right in Rittenhouse Square, which is a legendary IHOP. I'm sorry.
I like it.
Listen, no joke. This is the guy you want to meet. So Heather, I'll make sure if you ever go, and of course if you ever swing back east, you want to connect with this guy because he's definitely got all the connects, and he is a de facto mayor of Willow Grove.
I like it.
Where's Willow Grove?
I'm in.
Donnie G.
And the G stands for
All right.
mayor.
All right. So we were putting a bow on it. So Heather, one more time, the website.
Is weedmayhem.com.
The gram.
And the gram for Weed Mayhem is Weed Mayhem Inc. And my gram is I'm with Heather Jane. That'd be me. I'm with Heather Jane.
Love it. And we got so in case you don't know, we get chat, right? And somebody wants to have your home phone number. You want to give that out? No? Okay.
No.
Moving on.
Thank you.
No.com.
Amber, slide into your DMs.
323
Sings a good song for that.
N-O-O-N-O-N-O. All right. So Janelle Renee,
Yes.
very nicely done tonight. And we've got to have you back to talk more about the healing aspect.
Would love to. And I'll do a little, on-air healing for you,
Healing
too.
Right.
session.
I'll be the subject.
Yeah. And
I'll
I'll
line
be
your
the
chakras.
witness.
I'll take a little of that myself. If I can.
Telepathically, if he must. All right. So the website, the contact info,
Oh, for me,
the coupon.
sacredwings.com, and then right up there, JanelleRenee.sacredwings on Instagram. I do tons of lives, tons of videos, all kinds of information all the time. And the coupon code for 30% off is Mary J, MARIJ 30.
All right.
Right, there it is.
Ecor.
And of course, fit me. You know, fit is, instead of me saying all the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, just fit me. Ecor. IKKOR. Get it?
Right. All right. So that's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Okay, gotcha. All right.
Yeah, fit.
All in one. Smart.
There we go. See, I had to
Just
spell
fit
that
me
out.
in there.
Words.
All right. So that said, to all of you guys, man, what a great show. You get a chance to see how we kind of get down here on the Marijualogist. I hope you'll send your friends in to join us. If you got anybody who wants to come and get the message out and help us in our advocacy and our mission to explore the global impact of cannabis, hurry up this way again and bring them with you.
Absolutely.
And we out of
That's
here.
it. You guys high?
Bye-bye.
You ready to go?
Bye, y'all. We'll see y'all
Say
next
good night,
week.
everybody.
See y'all next week on the Vibration Frequency Network, vibrationfrequency.com. This is the Marijualogist, again with Janelle Renee, Sacred Wings, and we got Heather Richmond from Weed Mayhem, and of course, Bonnie off camera over there. Yeah. And yours truly, Equal the Wolf.
Yes.
And Richard Carr, and Don G out there in Philly. You dig? Next Friday, y'all, 4:20 Pacific Standard Time, right here at the Vibration Frequency Network. We love y'all. God bless. Have a safe and blessed, productive weekend.
Yes, and be safe.
One love, y'all.
One love.
You're tuned in to Vibration Frequency, vibrationfrequency.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Vibration Frequency. Feel the vibe.